News Talk 790 WPIC proudly presents Thiel Tomcat Football.
1, 2, 3, fight!
Thiel College Tomcat Football is brought to you by Ciance's Motel, Restaurant, and Lounge. UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Greenville Orthopedic Association. Greenville Moose Family Center, number 276. SCP Group, located in Sharon. Online at scpgroup.net for more information. Anderson Coach and Travel. Visit them online at goanderson.com. Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel athletic programs since 1990. First National Bank, the home for all your financial solutions. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. The Gallery Grill and the Greens of Greenville. Visit them online at greensofgreenville.com. ABI Fresh, proud food service provider for Thiel College. Partners Comdoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Biddle & Company. Visit Biddle & Company online at biddle-co.com. And Ilsco Extrusions Incorporated. Ilsco has operated one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. You can listen to this game online at 790WPIC.com or listen on the go by downloading the free WPIC station app. Now, let's get to the field for our countdown to kickoff show with our game announcers, Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbaugh.
From Chuck Knoll Field on the campus of St. Vincent College in Unity Township, just a stone's throw away from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, it's time for Thiel College football on News Talk 790 WPIC. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hugh Ringer, and I'll bring you the play-by-play action this afternoon. Don Achenbaugh standing to my left, ready to do the expert analysis on today's game, as the visiting Thiel Tomcats, trying to break a 3-game losing streak, venture down into Westmoreland County to face the Bearcats of St. Vincent College, who are dead even at 2-2 on the campaign. After a 37-21 win over the Allegheny Gators in the season opener, the Tomcats have come a cropper the last 3 weeks at the hands of Bethany, Thomas More, and 41-6 at home last Saturday to Case Western Reserve. The Cats are trying to get back on the winning track today against a team that they have never lost to. The Tomcats have actually, in recent history, I should say, they have a 3-game win streak. And last year, Thiel won up at Alumni Stadium by a score of 21-20. The St. Vincent Bearcats are coming off an impressive 48-30 win over the Grove City College Wolverines up in Grove City last Saturday. Well, Don Achenbaugh, we encountered a lot of rain on the way down, and it was coming down in sheets as we entered Chuck Knoll Stadium. But for the last 45 minutes we have not had any rain. The field was covered overnight. The turf is fast. It's a beautiful turf, because this is where the Steelers practice, and they insist on only the best. And today, the Cats have a fast track to work with, and let's hope it helps them get off this 3-game slide that they're in the midst of.
You're right, Hugh. It is where the Steelers practice. It's the only grass game we'll play all season, and guys are down there checking it out. Hugh, for the second week in a row, we're meeting a program on the rise. This is a team that used to be the doormat of the PAC. They brought in a John Carroll coach who has a big history, and last year turned it around to a 4-6, which is incredible for them. So they're another team on the rise, just like Case was last week. So the Tomcats are going to have to strap on their helmets and bring it to them for a change.
Well, let's hope they can do that this afternoon. Both teams warming up down on the natural surface as we get ready for this game. Up next, it'll be the President's Athletic Conference report with the Executive Director of the PAC, Joe Anderko. A very interesting day of Division III football in the conference. He'll tell you about it after this 2-minute break on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. First National Bank, the home for all of your financial solutions, from banking to investments to insurance. Call the Greenville branch of First National Bank at 724-588-6770. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
We've been hearing a lot about Uber lately, so we decided to get out there and talk to some actual Uber partners.
Is signing up to drive with Uber really hard?
It was simple and easy.
So if you have a phone, you can just sign up and earn money?
You just open the app whenever you feel like driving.
Sign up, drive, and you make some money.
Are the hours good?
I work less hours and I make more money.
Okay, this all sounds pretty great. What do you think I should do?
You need to sign up for Uber.
You can make serious life-changing money when you drive with Uber. Get started today at drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcats football and Thiel College athletics. The Greens of Greenville. Log on to greensofgreenville.com. And Ilsko Extrusions Incorporated, one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years, and proud to support Thiel College. Log on to ilskoextrusions.com for more information. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
Welcome to the PAC Football Report for October 3, 2015. I'm Joe Underko. Once again this week we'll look back at last Saturday's football action in the President's Athletic Conference, while also previewing this weekend's matchups. PAC games on September 26 saw all 5 road teams post impressive wins, with Thomas More and Case Western Reserve each improving to 2-0 in league play. The nationally ranked Saints rolled past Westminster 45-14, while the Spartans recorded a 41-6 decision at Thiel. In other action, St. Vincent was a 48-28 victor at Grove City, Bethany won at Waynesburg 27-14, and Carnegie Mellon earned its first win of the season, 35-7 at Geneva. W&J had the weekend off. PAC Player of the Week honors on offense went to Carnegie Mellon sophomore running back Sam Benger, as the top rusher at all 3 NCAA levels posted 28 carries for 194 yards and 2 scores versus Westminster. Defensive laurels went to Bethany senior linebacker Donovan Hayden, who recorded 16 tackles with 2 forced fumbles and 2 pass breakups in the Bison win. St. Vincent sophomore wideout Damon Black was tabbed for special teams recognition after returning a block punt 28 yards for the game's first score, while adding 2 tackles and a TD reception at Grove City. 5 league games are on tap for Saturday, October 3, starting with the headline event of the 2015 PAC schedule, as 2014 PAC co-champions Washington and Jefferson and Thomas More kick off at Thomas Moore's BB&T Field at 1 p.m. Both 3-0 teams are ranked in the top 15 of both the AFCA and D3Football.com national polls, and the 2-storied programs own a combined 29 PAC grid titles. The all-time series is tied 5-5, and W&J has won the last 2 meetings, both at home, after Thomas More had won the previous 5 meetings. New Thomas More head coach Regis Scaife expects his first battle against the Presidents to be a memorable one.
Well, first of all, it's really exciting for me and for our team. You know, I mean, this is what you live for as a player. You want to be in the big game, you know, with everything on the line. That's how you work so hard all year and prepare. So it's going to be a great atmosphere, and, you know, it should be an awesome game.
Fresh off its road win at Waynesburg, 2-2 Bethany celebrates homecoming at Bison Field with a 2 p.m. kickoff against 2-1 Case Western Reserve. The programs met in Cleveland a year ago, with the Bison defense dominating in a 25-14 decision over the Spartans. Despite Bethany dominating the all-time series 13-2, Bison head coach Bill Garvey knows his team will have its hands full against quarterback Rob Kuda and the high-powered Spartan offense.
There's no question about it that that guy has changed the whole realm of that team. I mean, he is a fantastic player and has really seemed to, I don't want to put light on it like they weren't any good a year ago, but really energized it and just changed their team completely, and because of how dynamic he is. So it was a very good win. Again, it's only the first time we played him in quite some time. So last year,
2-2 St. Vincent looks to remain on the winning track as the Bearcats host 1-3 Thiel at Chuck Knoll Field in Latrobe at 1 p.m. The Tomcats have won the last 3 meetings between the teams, including a 21-20 nail-biter in Greenville a year ago. Bearcat head coach Ron Dolciato talks about the state of his team as they approach the season's midway point.
Well, I think we need to be more consistent on both sides of the ball. And even in our special teams area, we had a big day on special teams last weekend. I think where we're at right now is we're in a good place. When we're on, we're on. When we're off, we're off. We really get to be more consistent. And I think we're working really hard for Thiel to be more consistent in what we're doing and having our kids ready to play this Saturday.
In other action, 1-2 Carnegie Mellon travels to New Wilmington. 2-2 Westminster will host the Spartans for the Titans' homecoming game at 1 p.m. CMU won a game for the ages last year in Pittsburgh as kicker Tyler Coleman booted a school record 50-yard field goal as time expired in a 27-24 Tartan win. Finally, 1-3 Waynesburg also hosts homecoming against 0-3 Grove City at Wiley Stadium at 1:30 p.m. The Yellow Jackets rolled to a 35-0 shutout of the Wolverines in 2014. Geneva has the weekend off. That's all for this edition of the PAC Football Report. Remember, for the latest news and information on your favorite team, log on to our conference website at www.pacathletics.org. You can also follow us on social media via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, with links available at the website. I'm Joe Underko. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the stadium.
Thanks, Joe. Now stay tuned for the Tomcat Update with head coach Kurt Reiser on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvica, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
Welcome to the Tomcat Football Update on this rainy Saturday at St. Vincent College with the head coach of the Tomcats, Kurt Reiser. Well, Kurt, the last 3 weeks have been tough ones for you and your football team with some tough losses against some good opponents. Based on some of the things that have happened in practice this week, do you have a sense that your kids are ready to turn it around today against St. Vincent?
Well, I think our kids are continuing to work hard and trying to get better every day. We just played 3 really good opponents, I think, the last couple of weeks. Bethany was a very good football team. Thomas More is one of the best teams in the country. And then to play last week against a very good Case Western football team that's very disciplined, very fundamentally sound. I thought their staff did a great job coaching them, and we knew that going into that game that it was going to be a good football game. It was, for the most part, in the first half up until the last play of the first half. So, it's tough sometimes when you go through 3 games like that to find the good, and our kids continue to work hard, and hopefully we're ready to go today against the Bearcats.
Offensively, with your club, it seems to start with the run game. And if you can't run it, you're not successful, and you weren't successful last week against Case.
That's right. And, they controlled the line of scrimmage with their defensive line, and we struggled getting a consistent run game going. We had flashes there. Kevin Daly broke off a big run and things like that. But the key to last week's game really was that we couldn't finish drives the way we needed to finish drives. We had a couple drives there in the first half that stalled inside the 10-yard line when we went for it on 4th down. We had things that we thought were open. We just didn't execute, and so we got to do a better job executing against good football teams, and that has to start today.
Now, today the weather is inclement. It's probably going to be wet and slippery out there all afternoon. What's your school of thought on this? Does the offense have the advantage because your wide receivers, for example, know what they're doing and the defenders don't?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, and we talked about that with our kids this morning at breakfast, that, offensively we have an advantage because we know where we're going. We know, our wide receivers, as you said, know where to break their routes, when they're going to break their routes, things like that. So I think from an offensive perspective, you have an advantage on the defense. And so, one of the things that we got to make sure that we do today is take great care of the football. I think St. Vincent has lived off of their defense, creating turnovers, creating pressure, forcing the quarterback into some bad decisions, and getting turnovers, and we can't do that today.
Now, defensively, your kids didn't tackle that well last week. That's going to be a key today in a game which might be won or lost by the team that runs the ball more efficiently.
Well, I agree with you. And our kids, we continue to play a lot of young kids on the defensive side of the ball, and they got to make plays, and they're learning to do that. We want to speed it up as quickly as possible for them to do that. So, today will be important to try to contain their run game, and try to force their quarterbacks into some poor decisions and things.
Now, Ryan Radke had problems last week, mainly because Case defended him. Do you think it'll be a different story today?
Well, I think that what teams have been doing the last couple of weeks is they've been forcing them to stay in the pocket and complete balls down the field, and they've done a great job doing it. I would anticipate, much of the same thing from St. Vincent today. St. Vincent runs a similar defensive front and coverages that Case Western ran a week ago, and I'm sure that they took a long look at the film from last week's game. We anticipate that they're going to blitz us quite a bit and bring pressure, either that's with one linebacker or 2 linebackers, and try to force Ryan into some bad decisions.
Let's talk about the 2-2 Bearcats when we return. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat Football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eccles TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to ecclesappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to teal.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to teal.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncesmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to teal.edu.
You are listening to News Talk 790 WPIC, Sharon Hermitage, a Cumulus station, sponsored by the Ridgewood at Shenango Valley, a premier senior living residence.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back with head coach Kurt Reiser on the pregame show. Kurt, the 2-2 Bearcats of St. Vincent College have beaten a couple of traditional Pac powers, including, of course, Waynesburg a couple of weeks ago. But the score that maybe is of most interest to us is they played Case a few weeks ago, and they were handled by Case, a score similar to the one that you had last week with Case at home.
Well, I think in the game with Case Western and St. Vincent, Case Western had a great game plan going into the game. They took advantage of some things that they saw on film that St. Vincent was doing defensively and played really, really well on their home field and things like that. We're coming down here to St. Vincent today. It's their homecoming. We're playing on their field. It's natural grass, which this is the only game that we play on natural grass the entire year. So this is an adjustment for us, and our guys have to be ready to go and be ready to handle it.
They use a two-quarterback system. Evan Shemensky appears to be the passer. Tyler Donahue is the runner and the athlete. You expect to see plenty of both?
I think we'll see both, and I think that we'll be prepared to handle both guys. Shemensky's a good thrower, has thrown for some significant yardage in several games that they've had, and Donahue can run the ball. I think they're both good athletes, and we got to be prepared to handle both of them and to tackle well today.
Their running backs have not racked up big numbers, but they apparently use several, including two quick kids and a local kid, Crawford, from New Wilmington.
Yeah, I think they have quality running backs. I think Shavonte Kraft was a bright spot for them a season ago in the conference, and a guy that was talked a lot about in the conference. And I know that they're using him in different ways. And Jannard Dorsett's got good speed, and the Crawford kid is a good running back. So if we can handle the run game and stop the run today, force them in to throw the ball, I think we'll have a good day.
Are you more concerned about their running than throwing? Because I know they have a number of receivers, a few of whom made plays last week.
Well, they have some big play receivers, and it starts with Damon Black. I think he's an outstanding player, and Dustin Lohman's been around for a couple years now and making big plays for them. They can certainly throw the ball down the field, and that makes us nervous because we've given up some big plays in the pass game and things like that. We want to make sure that we don't do that today, and so our secondary's got to be on point.
Defensively, the Bearcats are giving up 31 points a game. Do you see some vulnerabilities on defense that you think your club can take advantage of?
Well, I think that they take some chances with the blitz, and hopefully we can make them pay for it. They're playing a lot of young kids, too, as well, some freshmen out there that, as we know and have experienced, that freshmen, with their inexperience, make mistakes sometimes. So, I feel like we have a great opportunity today to play in a very good football game. I think that we're pretty evenly matched when you look at us on paper with statistics and this and that and those things. So, it'll just be important for us to go out and execute and for us to be better today than we were a week ago in the last couple weeks. If we can get back to running the ball like we did against Allegheny in the first week of the season, I think we'll be fine.
Are their linebackers the strength of their defense?
Well, when you look at their linebackers, they're very good players. You start with Rennie LaRue-Holloman, who's really kind of been juggled around a little bit in his career here at St. Vincent, was a defensive back, was a linebacker, and now was back at defensive back, and now he's back at linebacker. So he's shuffled around. He's an outstanding athlete, can come off the edge and really put pressure on the quarterback. Their inside linebacker, Matt McCarthy, I think is an outstanding player, solid player, makes plays for them. And those guys are active. They use them in their blitz game. They can cover down the field. So, our running backs are going to have to be able to pick up the blitz when we throw the ball, and we're going to have to get people on them when we're running the ball.
Last week, St. Vincent scored on a blocked punt, a botched punt snap, and an interception. Do those turnover possibilities cause you sleepless nights?
Yeah, I mean, they do, but, and as we talk with our kids all the time, it's about taking great care of the football. And when you look at St. Vincent over the last season and a half, last season and the first part of this season, that's what they've survived on. They've really thrived on their defense creating turnovers and putting their offense in great field position with short fields and allowing them to get points. They're not a team that I think is, if you pin them back at the 10-yard line or the 20-yard line or even on the negative side of the field, in a lot of respects, they're not going to be a team that's going to drive the field typically without having a big play either offensively or their defense sets them up with a very short field, and that's what they've thrived on. So as we talked with our kids this morning, take great care of the football is the theme of the day today, and be able to establish the line of scrimmage and control the line of scrimmage.
Kurt, a couple of closing things we'd like to ask you about. We'll do that after we take this short break. You're listening to News Talk 790 WPIC, the home of the Tomcats.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to teal.edu.
I'm Daryl Satterfield, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Kurt, injury-wise, are your Tomcats pretty healthy today? I know you told me Monday night on the show Gary Heiner was nursing an ankle problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pretty healthy. We had a good week of practice. Gary got treatment all week for his ankle injury. Got rolled on in last week's game against Case Western. He'll be taped up today. I know that he's itching to get out there and test it out, make sure it's good to go. I think he's going to be fine. I know that he's going to give us everything he's got, and if he doesn't, then we'll adjust as we go along, and we have a plan in place in case he's not able to go. But I fully anticipate that Gary will make it through today's game and play well.
Your running back situation today apparently is going to feature the Greenville kid Nick Black a little bit more. He showed us what he can do a couple of times last week.
Well, with Nick, we know he's a hard runner. I thought he did a great job last week. He caught the ball on a screen and got us great yardage. He ran hard. He ran some people over last week. In high school, he played on a natural grass field. He was a mutter, so to speak, and so we're playing natural grass today. He's a tough runner. I think he'll be able to get yardage today, and we'll use Kevin Daly and Nick Black, and I think they'll both be outstanding backs for us.
Kurt, a couple of keys to victory today over the Bearcats at St. Vincent.
Well, with a wet day, you want to control the line of scrimmage. We want to run the football, control the tempo of the game. I think we're at or near the top of the conference in time of possession. So we've done a nice job with controlling the tempo of the game. We got to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. If we get a turnover, we got to put it in. If we get favorable field position, we got to put points on the board and take advantage of opportunities. And then we got to take great care of the football. Special teams, I think, will play a role in today's game. We have not been great, obviously, in punting the ball, so we went back to the drawing board again and, made some adjustments there. I think we'll be better today. So I think special teams will play a role today, and hopefully it'll come out in our favor.
You've been listening to the Tomcat pregame conversation with head coach Kurt Reiser. Well, Don Achenbaugh, both teams are out on the field. The captains have met with the officials, and Thiel's going to get the football to start period number 1. The rain has subsided. It hasn't rained for about an hour and a half in Westmoreland County. The track is in good shape, and let's hope the Tomcats are in good shape for a good performance today.
Yeah, and they're going to receive the ball. St. Vincent won the toss and deferred. Tomcats lined up on the wrong side of the field. Now they're switching sides there. St. Vincent's come out in their black jerseys. They warmed up in green jerseys, switched to black jerseys, and I got to tell you, those numbers are very difficult to see on black jerseys. So if we make some mistakes, folks, give us a little bit of due.
Yeah,
these eyes aren't as young as they used to be, and those numbers are very hard to read.
We are not making excuses, folks, but I don't know. In all the games that I broadcast, that I have seen numbers that are harder to decipher than these are today. They're really something.
One thing you have to remember is uniforms are they make uniforms for recruits and the players, not for fans and broadcasters.
I guess that's the case. Well, anyway, we're about set to go, and Sam Elliott is the kickoff man for St. Vincent, and he has the ball teed up on the 35. The Cats will move from left to right on your radio dial. And back deep to receive the kick are Richard Proper and Grant Seister for Thiel. And the kick is going to come down to Proper, who can't quite handle it at the 1-yard line. And the football rolls out of the end zone for a touchback. So the Cats will have the football 1st and 10 on their own 20, Dawn, and will set the offense. Your front 5 on the offensive line for Thiel. The left tackle is Mario Fagioli. The left guard, Manny Espinosa from Amherst, New York. Rayshawn Nivens out of Akron, Ohio is the center. Jake Swan, the right guard from Jamestown, New York. And Gary Heiner of Brookfield, Ohio is the right tackle. All right, we're going to set up with a shotgun formation with a sidecar for Ryan Radke, the junior from Lancaster, New York, with a back beside him, Daly. Here is the give to Daly, and Daly found a hole, and it closed quickly, but he gets a couple of yards across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line.
Nice hole there for a moment there, but it closed up as St. Vincent read the play well. But I think that's what the Tomcats want to do today. They want to establish a run. They haven't been able to do that the last couple of weeks. And like you said in the pregame, when they establish the run, they're a different football team.
Alex Horvititz is wide to the left. Ronnie Howard of Sharon is wide to the right. We have Zinsmeister as the tight end on 2nd down 7. Here's the give to Daly. Daly gets a little bit of a hole across the 30 and is up to the 32. And that's going to set up a 3rd and 3 for the Cats as they come out running at the outset.
And the Tomcats, again, they're getting a good push from their offensive line. The last couple of weeks we talked about not winning 1st and 2nd down. Now the Tomcats have set themselves up in a very makeable 3rd and 3.
St. Vincent goes with a 4-3 defensive alignment here as the Cats come to the line of scrimmage with 2 wides, and Radke's going to go back in the gun with Daly beside him. Zinsmeister, the tight end, is in. Actually, that's Ryan Rowland, slot left. Back is Radke, going to throw short, incomplete, intended for the tight end Rowland up at the 35. And the first pass for Thiel is not a good one, Don, and they'll have to kick the football.
Rennie LaRue Holloman, the guy we talked about so much the last couple of years, came in on a blitz that time and caused Ryan to have to throw the ball a little sooner than he wanted to.
All right, and we see that Dustin Lohman Sr., and this will be the last time we say senior here today.
Unless his dad's playing.
Well, I'm getting kind of tired of this such and such senior. But anyway, senior is back at his own 30 as the punt is away by Dylan Squires, and it's not very deep. It's high, and it doesn't make the 50-yard line and goes out of bounds in Thiel territory at the Cat 48. So already a little bit of a blip on special teams for Thiel.
St. Vincent came with a full-out rush that time. They've watched the videotape of the last couple of weeks like everybody else has, and came in, got some pressure. He tried to get the ball away and went about maybe 20 yards at the most.
So, ball on the 48 of Thiel. No score, early going here, and St. Vincent is going to come out with Evan Shemensky as the quarterback, and he has a sidecar beside him, and it looks like that is Gennard Dorsett who gets the start. And here is the keep by the quarterback, and he's at the 40, the 30, the 20, tackled at the 20. Don, the Thiel Tomcats went with a fake. Yep. The hole opened, and the quarterback had a nice gain on first down, and that was Tyler Donahue, the running quarterback, who looked like a runner there. Donahue is in the gun on 1st and 10 at the Thiel 21, and he gives it off to his tailback, Shavante Kraft. Or no, he kept the ball. Kraft was tackled by a Cat, but it was the quarterback who kept the football, Tyler Donahue.
Tanner Lucido on the tackle for the Tomcats for basically no gain.
And he's a freshman from Grove City High School who gets his first start today. Kurt Reiser said this kid is coming on very nicely. Tanner Lucido. All right, no gain, 2nd and 10 at the 21. Here's the give again, and Kraft has a hole. He's at the 10, the 5, and he's got a touchdown. Just like that, St. Vincent scores after a short punt. They take it 48 yards in 3 plays, and the touchdown run by Shavante Kraft, a junior out of Jeanette High School up the road, and it is 6-0 in favor of St. Vincent. And in to do the kicking is Stephen Scherer, a senior out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. Scherer, of course, a soccer-style kicker. The ball's down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. St. Vincent wastes no time. The Bearcats lead Thiel 7-0 on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel. Proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat Football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Following a short punt, 48-yard touchdown drive, 3 plays, capped by Shavante Kraft, 21-yard touchdown run. And I'll tell you, the hole opened like the Red Sea. I think I might have gotten 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, I think we'd have been pretty close to the goal line ourselves there. Tomcats linebackers need to step up and make some adjustments, and Coach Heracle's coaching them up right now. So hopefully we'll see a turnaround here.
All right, Sam Elliott will again kick the football from the 35-yard line. And we see Seister and once again Proper back, and Proper fumbles it again, picks it up at the 5-yard line, dances, and is not going to make the 10. And the Cats are getting handled on special teams early in this football game, already trailing 7-0. And Dawn, they're going to have the long field here. I think they're going to be generous and put it down on the 10-yard line. So it is time for Thiel's offense to start moving the football. And, of course, it all starts with your quarterback, the veteran Ryan Radke, and his receivers and running backs. And we're glad to see Paul Jones, the sophomore from Newcastle, is in the lineup wide to the left. The Tomcats have Howard and Horvititz out to the other side, joined by tight end Ryan Rowland in a 4-receiver set. In the gun, Radke back. He's going to look. He gets pressure. The pass falls incomplete. Nowhere near the receiver out at the 12-yard line. and it's going to be second down.
Ball was tapped that time again by LaRue Holloman coming in from his linebacker position. He read the screen. They were trying to get a screen out to Greenville's Nick Black, and play just never developed. And I'll tell you, if we're going to get into a shootout with these guys, we really need to get the offense in gear. And when your defense is struggling, sometimes shortening the game is not a bad idea. We got to get the run game going.
All right, they're going to line up in the I with the fullback into the football game for Thiel, Zinsmeister. And Daly, I believe, is dotting the I. Here is Black. The handoff. It's Nick Black. And Black has a hole. He gets away. 15-20 and out to about the 25-yard line. And that's the way to do it if you're a freshman running back from Greenville High School.
Both hands over the ball that time. Brought through, did a nice spin move once he broke the tackle. And then he's the one who knows how to run on grass. The Trojans have gotten rid of their grass field this year, but last year when he was there, he was their mutter.
Well, they had a couple of opportunities in that first series, Don, to break a tackle or two, but couldn't quite do it, and Nick did it there.
Yep.
1st and 10, Cats own 25. In the gun is Radke with 3 wides on first down. Black is to his left. The high snap, the give to Black, and this time Black is going to go nowhere at the 25-yard line. And was that LaRue Holloman who was in there to make that tackle?
Absolutely. Came in from his outside linebacker position all the way over to the opposite side guard to make the tackle. And that time there was no hole at the point of attack, and Nick Black just tried to feel his way through. But as he'll learn as he gets a little more experiences, just make your first move and go, because you just don't have time to dance in this league.
Rennie LaRue Holloman is one of the most versatile players in this conference, a senior linebacker from Fox Chapel High School. All right, 2nd and 10 for Thiel. Radke is going to go under his center, Rayshawn Nevins, and he's going to call a timeout. And as we have a time on the field, we'll take a timeout for this break on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Dan Ross, running backs coach of the Tomcats. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Aukenbaugh back at Chuck Knoll Field at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. 7-0. The Bearcats lead the Tomcats. The Cats have it 2nd down and 10. Kenny Johnson is the referee for today's game. The umpire is Darrell Bowers. The head linesman, Charles Sasser. We'll get to others when time permits. 2nd down, 10 Thiel. Their own 25. In the gun is Radke with Nick Black to his left and 3 wides. A little bit of a shift there for the defense for St. Vincent. Lots of pressure. The pass is out here to Horvitis. 30, 35, 39-yard line. He's upended, and he must have made a nifty little move and ran right into that zone.
Yeah.
And he had all day to catch the ball and cut it up the field.
He and Ryan did a real nice job. They brought the outside linebacker in on a blitz that time, and Alex read the blitz. He was the hot receiver, just a little curl right behind where the linebacker blitzed, and picked up a nice yardage, moved to change, 1st down. Good drive for the Cats.
Horvitis goes to the left, joined in the slot by Ronnie Howard, and on the wing on that side is going to be your big tight end Ryan Rowland. In the gun is quarterback Ryan Radke on 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. He's going to give it to Black, and Black is going to have nowhere to go, and he's going to lose a yard or maybe a half yard. We'll call it 2nd and 10.
And I think that time you saw a little bit of Gary Heiner's ankle problems. He couldn't cut off the defender that time, who is, let me see, number 90, Sherby Saintplex, and he just beat him across the line of scrimmage. I think Gary, you see that little ankle all taped up out there. I think he's having a hard time moving.
Yep, he is not 100%. You can tell that even as he comes to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I'd say he's about 60.
Yep, 3 wides to the left. Well, Kurt said they have a plan if Heiner can't go, so we'll see if they have to execute that plan. In the gun, Radke going to stop, going to throw a flanker screen to Howard, and he might get 2 yards to the 41, and that's going to be it, setting up 3rd and 8.
LaRue Holloman again that time came in decided to come in on a blitz, read the flanker screen real well, moved backwards, and I'll tell you what, we said it last year, I think this kid's as good as athlete as we've seen in the PAC. He's big, he's tall, and he's very, very fast.
Yeah, he could play for the big boys. There's no doubt about that. And, by the way, some very interesting games in the PAC. You may have heard Joe Underko previewing them a little bit ago on the Countdown to Kickoff show, especially that game, W&J at Thomas More. We'll try to keep our eyes on that one. All right, 3rd down and 8 for Thiel. They need a big completion here from Ryan Radke, who is back and going to look. He's going to throw the out, and the pass is too low. It skipped into the intended receiver, and that was Horvitis at the 49 of St. Vincent. So trailing 7-0, Don. The Cats go out again. They get a first down, but that's it, and they're going to have to punt the football.
And it's real important that they hold here and give this kid a chance to kick the ball so we can change his field position, where right now we played the entire game on the Tomcat half of the field and would like to play it on the St. Vincent half for a little while.
Lohman is back at his 25 as Dylan Squires tries to get the football away from about his 27-yard line. Low snap, but gets it out of there, and Lohman says, let that roll. It takes a Thiel roll across the 30 down to the 26. So much better job that time on a relatively short punt again by Dylan Squires, but he got the good roll. So it'll be 1st and 10, St. Vincent.
He's punting for his life. Every time he comes in there, they're bringing 4 guys, just like we've seen the last couple of weeks. And so for him to get the ball off, and that time he got it, and it was he got a nice roll on it to send it back a little bit. But Tomcat defense has to step up here and get a turnover or stop these guys on a 3-and-out.
All right, so St. Vincent is going to come to the line of scrimmage on this series, and let's see, it looks like Donahue is the quarterback once again, and he has a sidecar beside him, and it's going to be a keeper. Donahue's in the open field, 50, 40, 30, 20. He's slowing down even. He has 20 yards to spare and goes in for a touchdown. That is way too easy. The hole was unbelievable in the middle of that Thiel defense.
74 yards on the run, Hugh.
Nobody touched quarterback Tyler Donahue on a designed quarterback run. I haven't seen one like that since the kid from Jeanette a few years ago pulled one on the Steelers in a game in Oakland. Wow. Unbelievable. All right. Steven Scherer will try the extra point. The Cat defense is getting mutilated right now. The kick is up. The kick is good. Timeout on the field. St. Vincent 14, Thiel nothing on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Kurt Reiser, head football coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
It's 14-0 St. Vincent, and they've hardly touched the football. They've scored so quickly at the 8:55 mark of period number 1 following the 74-yard touchdown run by quarterback Tyler Donahue. Here's the kickoff. It's going to come down here to Proper at the 3, 10, 15, 20, runs into resistance, breaks away from that wall, gets a few more yards up to about the 24-yard line where Thiel will have it 1st and 10. Now, the Cats got a first down the last time, Dawn, but they've got to do better than that because field position has been hurting them, and you turn that ball right back over to St. Vincent, and Thiel's shown no propensity to stop them at all.
When you give up a 74-yard touchdown run, field position really doesn't come into play. The Tomcats need to score some points because this is going to be a shootout, and they're not playing their half of it yet.
All right, Radke is going to go under center this time, and it looks like Daly maybe is back in at tailback. Roland motions right to left. in a 3-wide receiver set, and he's going to drop back and have time and throw, and he's got his receiver. Nice catch by Paul Jones, and the sophomore is across the 40 to the 42, and that's a gain of 17 yards to the youngster who's a transfer from Cal of PA, Paul Jones.
We've been talking about all season about how this young man's going to come into his own, and I think for the Tomcats to get back in this game, he's going to have to play a big role, stretch that field, and then bring Ronnie Howard underneath.
That's a good plan from my perspective. He can stretch the field. There's no doubt about that. He's the one who can. All right, 3 wides again for Thiel, and Roland is wide to the right. In the gun this time is Radke with a sidecar. On 1st and 10, he's back. He has time. He's going to air it out to Jones, who's hand fighting and can't get around the defender, who was dogged as all get out over there. Was that
Dwayne Brown?
Okay, Dwayne Brown was playing very good corner, and Jones could not get around to get to the football. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. And
that's a young player's mistake that Jones made that way. He got a little bit too close to the sideline and not allowed Brown to make the sideline a second defender, and just kept pushing him further and further and further until when the ball finally got there, there's no way he could make a move on it without going out of bounds.
Horvitz and Jones come wide right this time. Roland is out to the left, and he's going to motion left to right for the shotgunning quarterback, Ryan Radke, on 2nd and 10 at the 42. He's back, quarterback draw. He's going to run to the 45, to the 47-yard line, and they were around him. And, you know, everybody knows that that's Ryan Radke's game, and he's no longer breaking 15, 18-yard runs. He's settling for no gain or 5 or 6.
Yeah, he got 5 that time last week. He barely got out of the pocket at all. They had him hemmed in so well, but so he made up a little bit of yards there. Brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Tomcats with 7:42 left in the first quarter.
Very makeable 3rd down, and the Cats have to start converting. Jones right, Horvitz left, Roland in the slot from his tight end position. Radke in the gun. Motions some coverage over on the other side. Radke is back. Radke has time. He's going to run away. He's going to throw in a run. He's got the tight end, and there he goes. Roland, 40, 35, still in bounds, knocking people off, and a flag flies, and he runs out of bounds inside the 30, down at about the 26, and let's see what that flag is, Don.
It was Zinmeister. It's going to be a face mask. I'm just not sure who it's going to be on because they were both grabbing as they were going out of bounds.
Well, they rarely call it on the offense, so we'll see what happens here.
But a great play. Ryan found his tight end open over there, and they left him open, and St. Vincent's marching backwards, so it must be against them, which is a big boost for the Tomcats. Really got to get this ball in the end zone and get this game back into a little bit of Tomcats.
A lot of people are not aware of it, but St. Vincent is the most penalized team in the President's Athletic Conference. 96.2 yards and penalties on average per game.
And this is a team we can score on. They give up 31 points a game. We just got to get it in the end zone and give our defense a chance to regroup.
They're well in the red zone now on the 13 of St. Vincent, trailing 14-0. Radke going to give it off, and this is Daly, and Daly fights and claws his way to about the 11 for about 3 yards. We'll call it 2nd down. Let's see if it's out of the 11. We'll call it a gain of about 3, 2nd and a long 7.
And that time there was a little bit of a gap in there, and he got through it, but closed pretty quickly. And just a lot of clawing and fighting here. You know, both nicknames are the Cats, and they're clawing on both sides of the ball right now.
All right, Cats come out now with Horvitz. No, that is not. That is Cody Dinger who's in the game, the freshman, and there is a timeout by Thiel. They need to talk something over, and we'll be back on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Matt Arshenkoff, Special Teams Coordinator and Defensive Backs Coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
You ring her back with Don Auchenbaugh at Chuck Noll Field. Second down 8 for Thiel at the 11 of St. Vincent, trailing in the ball game 14-0. Radke in the gun with 3 wide. Let's see what we do here. I have a feeling the Cats are going to be throwing it in this situation. Radke back, 2 steps, pumps, throws. Howard catches and drops. He had good coverage. They knocked it away. That was not Ronnie Howard's fault.
No, double team coverage that time. Charles and Feeney on double coverage on Ronnie, and he did a good job just to get his hands on the ball. Ryan put the ball where it needed to be, but it's hard to pull it down with 2 people clawing at you.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to go too far anyway. The pass would have only gained about 4 yards to the 7.
Yeah.
So it's third down and about 8 for Thiel. So here's a big play because the field goal situation has been a bit tenuous so far.
We need touchdowns.
Yes, we do. In the gun is Radke, and he's going to run. He's at the 10. He's at the 5.5 and going to be down there, and it's going to be 4th down. They can get a first down at the 3, but it's going to be 4th down. And, Don, I think it's about 4 yards for the first down that is needed. Now, I guess you're going to go for it.
Got to go for it here. You're down by 2 scores. Your defense is struggling a little bit. You got a chance here to pick up a first down without having to score, so you need about 4 yards and see if the Tomcats can dial up the right play.
And, of course, with the short field, it's tough to make a play here. Paul Jones back in, joining Hervitus, Howard, and Roland in the pattern for the shotgunning quarterback Radke, who takes 1 step, throws for the end zone, and threw it way out of the end zone. And that's a shame because the defender fell down. Hervitus had it all to himself, but he couldn't get to that football, clear out of bounds.
Good job, good drive that time by the Tomcats. Unfortunately, it doesn't come up with any points. It does put St. Vincent back in a hole now. See if the Tomcats can dial up something on defense to keep them there and maybe get the ball back out around midfield.
Well, the Cat linebackers are going to have to do a much, much better job than they've done so far. Now, I do need to tell you, our best linebacker's hurting today. Doak Walker has a leg problem, and there was some doubt, I understand, that he was going to be able to go. He said he was going to be fine. They taped him up, and 44's out there, but that could be part of the problem. All right, St. Vincent comes out now, and their quarterback is Donahue. And
handoff Doak Walker on the tackle.
Walker was there to get Kraft for, was there any gain on the play? And there is a flag on the play, too. So let's see what this is. They're talking it over right now. St. Vincent defenders trying to help a little bit. I don't know if that's good or bad. Now the officials separate from the players so that they can get this straight.
No foul for a chop block.
No foul?
It was inside the tackle box. It was inside the 3-yard line.
So they're going to pick it up. He gains 1 yard, Kraft does. It's 2nd down and 9. The ball is placed at St. Vincent's own 7-yard line at the 5:24 mark of the first period.
Good job by Doak Walker that time, playing off the block and keeping him for a minimal gain.
Donahue in the gun with setbacks all over the place. Here's the snap, and he is going to fake, and he's going to throw it down the field, and he did not make the connection with the wide receiver. Was that O'Shant Kelly, I believe?
It is. Yes.
No, Damon Black. Damon Black was the intended receiver. In coverage there for the Tomcats,
Trey Andrews
was Trey Andrews, and not bad coverage. But Black could not hold the ball when he hit the turf, and it's incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd and 9 for St. Vincent from their own 12-yard line. It behooves the Cats to get a stop here, Don.
Yes, it does. That was their first pass of the day.
Yes, it was. All right, let's see. They're going to play fake. Here's the quarterback. He's got his receiver this time. Black catches at the 40, 50, 40, 30. Is Andrews going to catch him? No, he's not. It's going to be another touchdown. Can you believe that? 88 yards, I believe. 88 yards is what I had, and they went right back to Black, and I'm sure they said, Don, we had it the first time. Let's put a little more air under it, and we'll get it again, and they did for 6. Wow, he's their leading receiver. And this Damon Black is pretty good out of Lakeland, Florida. So it is now a 20-0 St. Vincent game. And Steve Shearer will try to add number 21. The ball's down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. There's a timeout on the field. St. Vincent 21, Thiel nothing on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're going to change our math a little bit on the distance that Black had to go to get that touchdown. 92-yard reception and run, and it looked initially like the pass might be too long, but this guy has acceleration, and he got it. And look at this quick kick, and look at St. Vincent. They're going to get the ball at midfield. Thiel was not ready. They were not ready, Don. St. Vincent didn't even leave the huddle at the 35. They said, okay, here we go. Quick kick. They snookered the daylights out of Thiel. And now this defense that has been clueless in this game is going to have to come back out again.
Yeah, that's misfortunate. They lined up in a huddle like they always do. Instead of breaking a huddle, the kicker just turned around and kicked the ball and then recovered it himself. And hats off to the Bearcats.
And they're going to come to the line of scrimmage once again with Donahue, the quarterback, same formation. Black is on the near side, very wide. And the give is going to be to Kraft. And Kraft is going to roll around the left side. He's in the open again. He's going to go. And that is actually Dorsett, who takes it all the way for another touchdown. And this is, folks, there's no way to slice it but to say this is a complete defensive meltdown by Thiel. They have not had a clue for stopping this team in quarter number 1, and it is 27-0. And that was 52 yards by Jannard Dorsett, who ran a little bit like Tony on that one. All right, extra point will be tried by Shearer. He's going to have a sore leg when this is over, if it keeps up. The snap is fumbled a bit. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It is not pretty, folks, in the first quarter. St. Vincent 28, Thiel no score on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvica, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
All right, the latest score is a 52-yard touchdown run by Dorsett. And the extra point makes it 28-0 St. Vincent first period. And we have 4:42, Don, left in the first quarter alone.
Well, that's the good news is we do have a lot of time to catch up. Now, I'll tell you what, that time it was a sweep. They had Black out on that side, and he opened up the area for him.
All right, a good, strong kick is going to come down to Grant Seister back at the 3-yard line, and Seister spins away at the 20 and gets out to about the 23-yard line.
Well,
so, what do you do here, Don?
Well, the game plan's got out the window right now, although there is still a lot of time. You could probably still run the ball a little bit, but you really just need to get a drive going and get some confidence, have some success. You know, nothing begets success like success. Tomcat offense, Ryan Radke's got to dig deep and see what we can do to get back on, get on the board and at least have some success.
All right, the Cat offense comes out on the field. They've had a few moments here where they showed some spark. And they're going to line up with two wides to the left and an eye in the backfield behind Ryan Radke. And Radke is going to give the ball straight ahead. And
Nick Black
with the football across the 25 up to about the 28-yard line. And that's a nice gain, about 6 yards, setting up 2nd and 4.
Again, this is a St. Vincent team that has given up an average of 31 points a game, so they can be taken. The Tomcats just need to find the right combination and get something going.
Ronnie Howard, wide right, Horvititz to the left. Same I formation behind Radke, who is under his center, sophomore Rayshawn Nevins. Radke looks over the defense on 2nd down and about 5, and he's going to give the ball to Nick Black, and Nick Black fights up to about the 30 and is spun around and brought down 3 yards shy of first down yardage, setting up 3rd and 3.
I think what the Tomcats are doing is they're sticking to their game plan a little bit. They want to. There's a lot of time left, 3 quarters and 3 minutes, so they want to, not panic here. But the big thing here is, like we talked about last week, there aren't any 28-point plays. It's a matter of just doing lots and lots of little things right and putting some drives together and then cutting into this lead.
Horvititz and Howard wide to the right this time on 3rd and 3. Thiel really needs to get this first down, and flag flies. The ball is snapped prematurely. A St. Vincent player crossed the demilitarized zone.
I think our center, Nevins, wanted to snap the ball while he was in the neutral zone. Ryan wasn't quite ready for it. Fortunately, he picked it up, and then referees blew it dead.
So what's it going to be here? The down marker has not moved. It still says 3rd and 3 at the 30. So we'll see what the Zebras are going to do at this particular point.
Offside St. Vincent, first down Cats.
Offside St. Vincent, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. That will move the ball up to the 35, and by penalty against the most penalized team in the conference, Thiel gets a first down.
Okay, good start to the drive. Again, we got to just find little victories. You got to, you can't make a 28-point play. So what you need to do is you need to just concentrate on beating the guy across from you and let everybody else take care of itself.
Horvititz and Howard wide right. Ronnie Howard going to motion right to left in the formation. Radke is under center, and he's going to give it, and Black is absolutely almost decapitated there at the 30-yard line. I'll tell you, was that Rennie LaRue Holloway doing the damage?
I'm trying to see the number. It looks like Cameron Mack. I think it was 25, maybe.
Well, he was a Mack truck.
I can't see
out of control there. No,
it's hard to see the numbers when they're moving.
The numbers are hardly discernible here. There's no doubt about that. I can see 26 down here, but and 14 the closer they get, but they're tough to read. It's a good thing it's not muddy today, or it would be even worse.
Stay tuned.
The field is in superb condition, and it's not raining, although the skies are rather threatening. All right, 2nd down and 15 for Thiel after that loss. Radke is back, and a flag flies, and the play stops.
False start, Tomcats.
So that's going to move him back 5 more and set up a 2nd and 20. 2:15 remaining, first period.
This is what you really want to stay out of if you're the Tomcats. You're struggling on offense, you're really struggling on defense, so to end up with a 2nd down and 20 is not really something you want to face with, and going to have to see what Coach Satterfield comes up with, see if the Tomcats can start breaking into this deficit a little bit.
2nd down, 20 from their own 25. Radke goes gun, gets outside pressure, and it collapses, but he gets away, throws the pass. It's caught nicely up at the 35 by Horvititz, who came back to help the quarterback, as a good receiver is supposed to do. And, Don, that's a pretty good job of getting 10 yards out of what could have been another 6 or 7 yard loss.
That was a great, you showed the athleticism of Ryan Radke. He spun away that time, and I'll tell you, to show the maturation, last year he'd have just tucked the ball and seen what he could get. This time he kept his eyes downfield. Horvititz did a nice job, saw his quarterback in trouble, came back to him, made a nice catch, and sets up 3rd and 10.
Horvititz left, joined by Howard and Roland. Paul Jones is wide right for the shotgunning Ryan Radke. He needs 10 yards to move the sticks. He's back. He dances. He's going to run. He's not going to go anywhere. The linebackers stay home at the 38-yard line and bring him down about 7 shy of the first down. So, again, Dylan Squires will have to kick the football.
And that you can give that credit to the secondary of St. Vincent. He was looking. Then when he finally took off the run, there was just no place for him to go.
Squires will punt the football from about his 24-yard line. Lohman is the deep man for St. Vincent. The kick is, again, very, very short. Bounces at the 42, takes a Thiel roll out of bounds at about the 37.5-yard line. So Dylan Squires is having his problems getting the foot into the pigskin here today.
This is not a team that right now today needs a whole lot of help. So I don't think we need to cut the field down for them. But with 27.9 seconds to go, Tomcats on the short end of a 28-0 score. Let's see if we can dial something up for the Tomcat D and see if we can get Riley Shane off the snide a little bit and make a play. Somebody's got to step up for the Tomcats and change the momentum of this game.
27 seconds remaining in this period. It's 28-0 St. Vincent. And they're going to come out here with a full house backfield with Donahue at the controls. And Donahue gives to Dorsett. And this time the Cats are all over him. And it looked like Stephen Kuzik was leading the tackling for the Thiel Tomcats, who stayed home.
Nice job that time getting across the line of scrimmage. They beat their offensive linemen today. Got in the backfield a little bit, disrupted the running pattern, the running lane. Looks like that's the end of the quarter, Hugh.
And that will be the end of a nightmarish, horrific first quarter for Thiel. 28-0 St. Vincent over Thiel on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncesmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Well, apparently it was not the end of the first quarter, folks. It looks like St. Vincent called time because they wanted the win factor to their advantage or something for another play, and we have 6 seconds remaining in the first period. So
I think I would cover the wide receivers.
I think it might be prudent for Thiel to watch the wideouts. And here's the quarterback back, and he's looking, and he's dancing around.
Nice
and this
job.
time he's going to run because in
Riley
that particular case, Donahue didn't have anybody to throw to, and Shane makes the tackle, and we have come to the end of the first period. After one, 28-0 St. Vincent on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Well, as they say, Don, there will be quarters like this, Mama said, and so let's put that quarter to bed and see if the Cats can turn it around here in the second quarter, trailing 28-0. They're about to get the football after the defense showed some sparks there in that series. The sack at the end by our sack man extraordinaire Riley Shane is going to force, we would think,
3rd and 11.
A 3rd and 11 here if the Cats can do it one more time. All right. Quarterback Tyler Donahue has a single setback with him, and that is Javante Kraft.
having a little trouble getting the change set, Hugh. But tell you what, Tomcats have an opportunity here. Let's get them, shut them down here, get the offense. We got the wind at our back, see if we can get into some points.
All right, Donahue takes the snap, play fake, he's back. He has all day, he's got an open field, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, and out of bounds at about the 17 12-yard line. 12-yard line. How could that field be so open?
Tell you what,
I guess everybody dropped in coverage.
Everybody dropped in coverage, and then when he got past the linebackers, and Doak Walker's come out again with that leg problem, and once he got it, his wide receivers did a nice job sealing off, and not the play we wanted on third down.
All right, so they're in the red zone now at the 12-yard line. And Tyler Donahue's the quarterback, and he's going to give it to Kraft, and he's going to walk into the end zone.
Got a flag.
A flag. There might have been a habeas grabus on that. We'll have to see. It was holding. We have some scores as they march off the penalty on St. Vincent. Early second quarter, Westminster continues to surprise. They lead CMU 10-3. Thomas More, no surprise, start of the second quarter leading W&J. W&J leading Thomas More 10-7. And Waynesburg leads Grove City, start of the second quarter, 7-0. Some interesting games on the out-of-town pack scoreboard this afternoon. All right, so the penalty makes it first down from the 22 and long, and the quarterback is going to call the keeper, and the Cats are trying their darndest to get him down. But this running quarterback, Donahue, crosses the 15-yard line to about the 13 and gets a lot of the yardage back that they lost on the holding, setting up 2nd and 11 for the Bearcats at the Thiel 13-yard line.
Joe Serratore on the stop downfield for the Tomcats, but again, he had way too much green in front of him and got past that linebacker core again, and the Tomcats really need to shore up that position.
Donahue is going to be in the gun with a pair of wides to both sides, and he's straight back, and he has all day to throw, and he's got an incompletion at the 10. The receiver, Kraft, was open a little bit, but a Tomcat came over there, Don, and made a pretty nice play at the end to kind of knock the football away, and another flag has flown or been thrown out on the field.
Tanner Lucido was the guy in coverage that time. Yeah. It looks like it's going to be another holding, and now all of a sudden we got
now they're going the other direction.
You know, we talk about the Tomcats getting back in here. If they can maybe get a stop here, this is a team that makes a lot of mistakes, and they're, with all the penalties they have, they're not terribly disciplined. So, you know, this is not out of the realm of possibility to get back into this thing with 13:44 left in the second quarter. And now that must have been a big personal foul penalty because that really marched you back to the 28.
28-yard line, and it's going to be now, second down, I believe.
2nd and 26.
2nd and 26. Yeah, your math's a lot better than mine.
No, it's on the scoreboard.
Oh, it's on the scoreboard. Oh, I didn't think you could count that fast.
Thanks.
All right. In the gun. In the gun is the Bearcat quarterback, Tyler Donahue, and he has 4 wides this time. And he's going to go straight back. He's going to quick pitch to Kraft at the 30, 25, outside near the 23. Good tackle there.
Shane Russell
coming up in the secondary to make the play, and Chris Jones actually secured that tackle, Don, at the 23.
Russell hit him initially, tried to take his legs out, but he was spinning. When he spun, Chris came in and closed him up, and a little shovel pass that they got in right in the middle of the field, picked up some yardage, but still going to be 3rd and 21.
All right, let's see if the Cats can hold them here. Somehow make Kraft throw the football and don't let him run it. Kraft is in the gun with 3 wides to the right and 1 to the left. And he is back. He is going to look. He's going to run.
He's not going anywhere.
Go, and the Cats are going to throw him for a sack back at the 35. Riley Shane was in there, and who's that other biggin?
96.
Kuzik. Okay.
Great job.
Steve Kuzik was also in.
They just pushed right through the offensive line that time, and the secondary did a great job covering and got to call that a coverage sack, but we'll take it anyway. It's going to make it 4th and about 31, 32, and looks like the Bearcats are going to go for it.
Well,
or watch the quick kick from the quarterback.
Well, This quarterback can probably do it all. Tyler Donahue, a 6 foot, 175-pound sophomore.
Looks like we got a timeout.
We have a timeout that's called by St. Vincent. So we'll take a timeout. 28-0 Bearcats over Tomcats on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Daryl Satterfield, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Facing a 4th and 31, St. Vincent from the Thiel 33 is electing to punt the football and get better field position. And they send out the biggest punter that we've seen all year, 6'7", Mark McCracken from Southmoreland High School. And the snap is over his head and rolls back to the 40. The Cats are trying to pick it up, and they're going to fall on it, I think. And Thiel gets a huge break.
That's huge.
How do you snap the ball over a 6'7" punter? My goodness.
You got to practice that, my goodness.
Do? Well, no, you don't practice that when you do it, apparently. I don't know who recovered that for Thiel, but there was a mini scrum, and I think it was 86.
96. I think it's
96?
Kuzik. I think it was Kuzik.
Was that Steve Kuzik? Yeah. Okay, way to go, Steve. You had a good series.
Yes, he did.
So Thiel gets a big break and gets on the botched snap by St. Vincent special teams. Thiel with the ball 1st and 10 on the St. Vincent 37-yard line. Let's see if Ryan Radke can make him pay. He has 4 wides in the game, and he's in the gun and back. And flags fly again, illegal motion on Thiel.
Tomcats got a little excited that time. They want to change the momentum of this game, and a play like that will do it. But you got to get set. I think one of our wide receivers may have flinched a little bit out there and waiting for the play to come. So you're talking absolutely right. This is a Ryan Radke production right now. He's got to calm this offensive down, take the charge of it, and see if he can get this ball in the end zone.
Horvitz and Howard wide left. Roland and Paul Jones to the right. Again, in the gun is Radke with the sidecar. Radke is back. He's calling the draw. He gets away from pressure. He's running. He's looking. He now throws the ball to the popcorn vendor right down by the dance line.
Yeah, I think that one went to the Abbott.
Because, did that go to the Abbott?
Because I don't think that was going anywhere, but Ryan did a great job with great athleticism.
Is the Abbott here today?
I'm sure he is. We're stuck in a little box, so he must be. Ryan did a great job to get away that time. A couple of times he could have been done, and he felt the pressure coming up from his back, and he got the ball out of bounds.
Okay, so it's going to be 2nd down and about 14 for Thiel. Back at the 41 of St. Vincent. Trailing 28-0 at the 11:34 mark of the second period. Cats again have 3 wides in the formation for the shotgunning Radke. On 2nd down, he takes the snap and he's back. He gets late pressure. He's trying to get away. He does get away. He finds a hole, but he can't run forever because they're waiting at the original line of scrimmage to bring him to the turf and set up a 3rd down and about, or 2nd down rather, and about 11. No, 3rd down and about 11.
Matt McCarthy playing spy that time, waited for Ryan to come break through the hole, and then kept him to about a 4.5-yard gain.
So it'll be 3rd and 11 now for the Thiel Tomcats from the 37-yard line.
Got to give credit to St. Vincent's secondary right now. Ryan has time to throw. It's just there's nobody open, or he's not seeing somebody quickly enough.
3 wides to the left this time, with the tight end tight on the right side for Thiel. Showing a blitz from the other side, the weak side, and here comes a blitzer, and Radke runs the other way and throws incomplete, intended for Roland, and actually Horvitz on his back
Yeah, he
got a better shot at that. I had a arm on it, but couldn't pull it down. It's 4th down.
Corvitas that time, his feet came out from under him and up. Used to be playing on this grass surface, and it looks like Tomcats are going to punt.
So Squires is going to come out and kick the football from around midfield.
Got to cover this thing, keep him back in a hole, see if we can pin him down and get some more field position.
All right, St. Vincent sends back. Is that Darrell Burrell?
I think it's number 11, maybe.
11. Here's the kick, and Squires, again, has kicked this thing very short. But look at that roll he gets.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That was Ariel Martinez,
yeah.
I think, who was deep.
I think so, too.
And the ball rolls dead down at about the 6-yard line. Boy, I'll tell you, Squires is living right today, Don.
Well,
these punts are pooches, big time, but he's getting rolls most of the time.
He's punting for his life is what he's doing, because they're bringing the house after him.
He's not punting for his life. The only one who's been kicking for his life, and his life ended today, was Josh Scobie in Pittsburgh.
I knew we'd get a Steeler reference in there somewhere.
The Steelers replaced him today, and I can get you the name any moment.
I'll tell you what, folks, being a Browns fan in the heart of Steeler mania here.
Don't even admit that.
I admit it every day.
All right, here comes St. Vincent, and a quarterback keeper. Again, good yardage by the Bearcat quarterback, Tyler Donahue, who's gone the whole way, and he's across the 10 out to the 12-yard line.
And again, they got a good push from their offensive line that time, and he's a pretty shifty runner for a quarterback, and he's doing a good job.
For those of you other than Aukenbaugh who are interested, the Steelers' new kicker is Chris Boswell.
Tell it to the
No relation to Thomas Boswell. All right, 2nd down, 4. Here is the keeper, and there he goes. There's your quarterback in the open, 50, 40. Jones trying to catch him, 30, 20, stiff arm, 10, tackled at the 6-yard line. Unbelievable. When have you seen a quarterback run in open field with no resistance like Tyler Donahue all afternoon?
Boy, he's not even getting touched before he gets 60 yards downfield. He's gonna be the leading rusher today, that's for sure. Probably up over about 160 yards already.
Unreal. So it's 1st and goal for St. Vincent at the Thiel 6-yard line.
Nice job by Chris Jones not to give up on the play, though. He came from all the way to the other side of the field and used that sprinter speed that he has from the track team and ran him down. And maybe this time the quarterback will be tired and he'll fumble the ball.
Well, he's not going to run it here. They're lining up with an eye in the backfield, and Kraft dots the I. They give us to Kraft. And Kraft does not have a hand laid on him. He is into the end zone, and I don't know when I've ever seen a domination by an offense like they are putting on this Thiel defense today. It is now 34-0 St. Vincent. At the 9:20 mark of the 2nd period. Steven Scherer will punt. Snap is good, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. St. Vincent 35, Thiel no score on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
An 85-yard run by quarterback by Tyler Donahue set up a 7-yard run by tailback Shavonte Kraft. It is now 35-0 St. Vincent. Sam Elliott, or rather Steve Scherer, will kick off, and the kick is going to bounce. It's going to be picked up by Proper at the 10, 15-20. Here comes a sprinter. He's at the 40. He may take it. I think he's going to take it to the house. The sprinter from Seneca Valley High School, Richard Proper, has said, I can do that too, but I don't play quarterback. Instead, I'm a cornerback who runs on the track team. And he showed his speed there, Don. How far?
I think it was about 86 yards. 86 yards for freshman Richard Proper.
And the Thiel Tomcats are on the board at 35-6 at the 9:08 mark in the second period. And in to do the extra point kicking for Thiel is the freshman Cody Dinger from Girard High School in Erie. And we're trying to get that 11th body out on the field, and we get him right now. Schaefer holds. Dinger kicks. The kick is good, and the Tomcats have scored on special teams. It is St. Vincent 35, Thiel 7 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Freshman Richard Proper from Seneca Valley High School takes the kickoff 86 yards to pay dirt. And the extra point by Cody Dinger makes it 35-7. St. Vincent leading the Thiel Tomcats. And now the Cats are going to kick off to St. Vincent. And it's Dinger who's going to kick an end over end that's going to be taken up short at about the 17-yard line. And here comes somebody else in the open. And with that football for St. Vincent is Jannard Dorsett, who crosses the 50, the 40, and down to about the 37-yard line. So, just like that, Dorsett ignites the St. Vincent faithful with a big kick return. Not as far, of course, as Proper, but they'll put it down on the Thiel 38-yard line.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a video they're going to show to special teams anytime soon on either side.
No, or the defense on the one side. But, man, it's up and down the field, and now at the 38 of Thiel, St. Vincent comes out, and again, the Bearcats are going to have at quarterback Tyler Donahue with the sidecar. Donahue fakes. He's going to run left. He's going to be chased by Doak Walker, who can't get there, but the Cats on the corner get him inside the 35 at about the 33-yard line.
Chris Jones again on the stop that time, came up from his cornerback position, but he had to wait till he crossed the line of scrimmage. Doak did as best he could running on one leg trying to catch up to him, but just couldn't run down the speedy quarterback, and Chris came up and stopped him after about a 5-yard gain.
Gain of 5, second down 5 at the 33 of Thiel. Once again, Donahue will work out of the gun. He has 3 wides in the football game, and he is going to give it straight ahead this time, and Kraft is fighting his way across the 30 down to the 27-yard line, and it looks like he has a St. Vincent first down, and they are moving the chains, Don.
Doak Walker again on the stop that time with a little bit of help from Kuzak. Again, didn't make contact till he had already had the first down. Once they made contact, he was able to hold him up while Kuzak came in and helped clean it up. But Tomcats need to really make a play at the point of the attack, not 9 yards downfield.
Yeah, it's not an exaggeration to say that the Thiel defense is being blocked. No question. All right, in the gun again is Donahue on 1st and 10 from the 27. He's going to play fake, go straight back, and air it out. He's got a receiver, but a nice play by Christopher Jones.
Nice job, Chris.
Down at the 3. And I'll tell you, Chris Jones is one defender who's brought it today.
Yes, he did. He had nice coverage that time. Went up with both hands, slapped it to the ground, and real good coverage. He didn't go with the play fake, and didn't look into the backfield like a lot of cornerbacks will do. Kept his eyes right between the numbers on the guy who was covering, made a nice play down the field.
Chris Jones, a nice young man who we've gotten to know a little bit. Very nice personality. The young man from the Crab State of Maryland. All right. 2nd down 10 for Tyler Donahue in the gun. He's going to fake it. He's going to run to the right. He's under pressure. He's going to throw it to the cheap seats down by the bench. And who was putting that pressure on?
That was Riley Shane, and was also
Dalton Hewitt.
Yep.
A freshman linebacker out of Riverside High School in Elwood City. So it looks like the defensive coaches are putting some young'uns in here now as Hewitt sees his first action of the day.
Starting to get some pressure, too, coming up the middle of that time. Referees were looking at each other to see if they wanted to throw the ball. He was real close to being inside that tackle box, which would have made it an intentional grounding, but they decided not to throw the flag.
Donahue in the gun on 3rd and 10 from the Thiel 32-yard line. He's going to roll right. He's got a protector. He's going to throw. He has the receiver inside the 15 and run out of bounds. Pushed out by Andrews was the receiver on the play, and that looked like Ariel Martinez who made that catch. Was that Martinez or Lohman? I think it's
Lohman.
Number
10, yeah.
Yeah, Dustin Lohman made that catch. So it's going to be a first down at the 13-yard line in the red zone for St. Vincent. And Thiel literally has not stopped this team all day in a 35-7 game with 7 minutes to go until halftime. Donahue is back, avoids the rush, rolls to the right, and throws incomplete at the 2-yard line. He knew he didn't have anybody, so he just threw it to the ground and lives to play and throw another down, Don.
Good job that time by the Tomcats secondary. They held their positions and kept the coverage, and then once the linebackers and the defensive line broke free, he did all he could do was just throw the ball out of bounds and come back on 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 13 of Thiel. Donahue has Kraft beside him and sends a receiver in motion, and that's Damon Black. And they throw to the flat to Kraft down at the 10, and he's going to run out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 6.5-yard line is where they're going to put the football. And Kraft has gained about 6 yards on the play. Make it 2nd down, make it 3rd down and 4 now for St. Vincent.
Tanner Lucido was on the stop that time. He's played a pretty good game for the Tomcats. If anybody has on defense, he and Chris Jones have been in the plays more often than not.
Donahue will go under center, and he's going to give it to Kraft, and Kraft is tackled by Doak Walker, who shot that gap.
Yes, he did.
Nicely, Don, and the freshman linebacker, Thiel's leading tackler from Canton McKinley, Ohio High School, was Johnny on the spot there, and it's 4th down, and my goodness, we're going to force St. Vincent to showcase their place kicker for a field goal.
Well, let's hope they snap it like they do their punt.
Stephen Shearer is going to try the kick.
Looks to be about 21, 22
David
yards.
Butler is the holder. He'll be kicking the ball from the 12. That would make it a 22-yard attempt with no wind. Here's the kick. The ball is up. The kick is good. 22-yard field goal extends St. Vincent's lead. It's now the Bearcats 38, the Thiel Tomcats 7 on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Dan Ross, running backs coach of the Tomcats. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
22-yard field goal by Stephen Shearer has extended St. Vincent's lead to 38-7 at the 5:48 mark of the second period. Reminder, stay tuned at halftime. We'll be talking to Thiel's special teams coach, Matt Arshenkov. Here's the kick taken by Grant Seister. He made the catch at about the 20 and gets up to about the 29-yard line, where the Tomcats will have the ball, 1st and 10.
Good opportunity now for the Tomcat offense to come out. They got 5 minutes and 43 seconds left. Let's go back to the basics. Let's run the ball a little bit. Let's throw controlled passes. Let's move the ball down the field, see if we can get a touchdown before halftime. Go back in and regroup a little bit and see if Ryan Radke can settle the troops down.
Kevin Daly is going to be the tailback, and we see that Zinsmeister is in at fullback, and Justin is going to be the blocker there. And flags already fly, and I think false start for Thiel. So they've had several of those penalties here today, and it's going to march the ball back inside the 25.
Fagioli that time flinched a little bit, thought maybe they were going on a quick count, and didn't. Cost the team 5 yards, and it's not something the Tomcats need to do. They're getting shot up enough. They don't need to shoot themselves.
Howard and Horvititz go wide to the right. Radke under center with an eye behind him. Long count. Play fake. He's back. He's got late pressure, and the throw. Ronnie Howard trying to get it at the 37, but the pass was not well thrown. It was wide of the mark. It's going to be 2nd down and 15.
Ryan had to throw the ball sooner than he wanted to. Ronnie was coming out of his break, and Ryan had to get rid of the ball. They brought a blitz that time, and he was in Ryan's face, and Ronnie had to throw the ball maybe a step or two soon, so it looked like it was not ready there when Ronnie made his break.
So Horvititz and Howard are wide to the right. Howard motions right to left. Eye behind quarterback Radke, and Radke's going to give it to Daly, and Daly is not going to get to go anywhere. He is tackled right in his tracks at about the 22, setting up a 3rd down and maybe slightly less than 15, but not much.
Thomas Ramirez from Pearland, Texas on the stop that time for St. Vincent.
It's actually 3rd and 17 now. So we approach the 5-minute mark of the second period. It's been a very long first half for the Thiel Tomcats. In the gun is Ryan Radke, as Thiel needs 17 on 3rd down. Radke's going to go straight back. He's going to run. He's going to run across the 30 to the 22-yard, or the 30 to the 32-yard line, which will leave him about 7 yards shy of the 1st down. So the Cats will send out Dylan Squires once again to kick the football. Squires will get the kick away at about his 19-yard line.
It's been an adventure for him today with the rush they've been bringing. Looks like they're coming again.
Loman is deep up at about the 30, and Loman says, I'm not going to field that ball. It's going to bounce across the 35-30 and going to roll dead at about the 27. So, again, not a punt of great distance, but a punt of good roll. And it'll be 1st and 10 now for St. Vincent on their own 27-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's really important for the Tomcats to get a stop here. I mean, we've really only stopped them when they've stopped themselves, and Cats need to really get something going here on defense and see if they can get some of these young kids maybe to step up and make a play, maybe put the ball on the ground and get a fumble recovery or something. But Tomcats just need a break.
All right, let's see what happens. Dalton Hewitt is still in on this sequence, joining Lucido and Doak Walker as the linebackers. Here is the snap, and the give is straight ahead, and that's Kraft running into the secondary across the 40 to the 41, and he gets 14 yards on 1st down.
And again,
talk about owning the line of scrimmage, Don.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter which running back they put in, Dorsett or Kraft, either one, and they're both just gashing the Tomcat defensive line.
Donahue with a sidecar, and he's going to give it off to Kraft, and Kraft's going to dance outside and get yardage across the 50 and out of bounds at about the Thiel 47-yard line, and he gets 11 more and moved the sticks again.
Aaron Mason pushed him out of bounds that time. Tomcats had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he just did that little hesitation move and waited for a blocker to come in and clear out the way, and then just danced outside, and then next thing you know, he's got 11 yards.
All right, 1st and 10 in Thiel territory at the 46. Donahue in the gun is back in an open set. Going to throw it right down the middle, too high and intercepted. Nice pickoff by Martin in the secondary. Trevor Martin,
nice job,
the
Trevor.
Junior out of Meadville High School, made a diving interception at his own 20-yard line.
And that's what the Tomcats needed here. They needed to get a break here right before halftime so they can get something positive going here. And Trevor Martin was right there to catch the deflection. They had made a nice diving interception.
So with 3:15 remaining until halftime, the Tomcats will have it on their own 20. Let's see if they can take it the 80 yards here. And we notice a couple of changes in that Thiel forward wall. First thing we notice, well, we'll try to get that in a moment. All right, in the gun is Radke with a sidecar. And 4 wides. He's back. He's dancing. He has time. Now it gets away, and the pass is complete. Was that Nick Black?
Nick Black
fell down at the 15-yard line as he made the catch.
They were trying to set up a little bit of a screen that time. Ryan did his part, and Nick went to turn upfield and on this sloppy turf, and it is getting a little slick out there. You can see the grass is starting to get chewed up a little bit. Just couldn't keep his feet.
So it's going to be 2nd down and about 15. Back is Radke. Flag flies, and I think I saw somebody move up front, Don.
Yep, false start.
They did. False start against Thiel.
You know, they're facing an uphill battle as it is, trailing 38-7, and now they're going to set themselves up with a 2nd and 20 with 2:44 left in the half. And really, it's just a lack of discipline on the Tomcats' on part that time. They really just need to set the line. Again, they're looking for something positive out of this last 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and 2nd and 20 is not a real positive way to go.
All right, they'll come out at their own 11-yard line with Howard and Horvititz and Roland wide to the left. Jones to the right. Here's Radke under pressure, dancing. And boy, does he get crocked, and did he cough up the football? He did. And St. Vincent has the ball at about the 7-yard line of Thiel. Radke was dancing for time, and he didn't see the blind side coming at him, and they knocked the ball loose. He coughed it up, and St. Vincent has recovered.
I think it was Matt McCarthy on the recovery that time, and that's exactly what the Tomcats didn't want to do, is turn the ball over inside their own 10-yard line. But I'll tell you what, you have a couple of false start penalties, you have a slipped running back, and all of a sudden you're at 2nd and 19, 2nd and 20, then you try to make that, again, that 28-yard or 30-point play, and you try to do more than you're capable of, and next thing you know, you turn the ball over, and the Cats are in real trouble now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Tyler Donahue is in the gun with a sidecar. He has 3 wides to the right, and he's going to throw it. He's going to air it to the end zone, and the pass is caught by Black. Black makes the catch, and it is a touchdown for St. Vincent. Wow. Just a design slant. And this Black, who's 6'3", a big receiver,
just made a basketball play, Hugh.
Made a basketball play, and the Cats were powerless to do anything. So it is now 44-7, and Shearer is going to try to tack on 45 at the 2:09 mark. The ball's down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. It's St. Vincent in a walkover, 45-7 before halftime over Thiel on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Kurt Reiser, head football coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Damon Black on a slant, 8 yards for a touchdown following the Radke fumble. And it is now 45-7, St. Vincent over Thiel, with 2:09 left until halftime. Doing the kicking off is Sam Elliott. And it's a high end-over-end kick, going to come down to Proper at the 10-15, and he is met at the 23-yard line. I think they remembered he was the one who diced them a little bit ago for 86 yards on a kick return for a touchdown.
Dwayne Brown that time on the stop, he wrapped him up and couldn't make a move. He just put him right to the ground at about the 24-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Thiel Tomcats with 2:03 remaining until halftime. In the gun is Radke with 4 wides. Here's the snap, and he's back. He's going to dance. He gets away. He's going to try to run, and he's going to run up to the 30-yard line where he goes out of bounds. He gets 6 yards on the play, making it 2nd down and 4.
And again, the Tomcats secondary, in the St. Vincent secondary, just not getting open. There's just they're blanketing the Tomcat wide receivers. It might be some kind where you just maybe make a delay and bring the tight end across the middle after everybody clears, see if we can get some momentum going.
All right, Radke in the gun. Stops, looks, and he throws a pick. It's intercepted by a linebacker, 10-5, and out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Radke made that tackle, and that linebacker, Jean Cherilis, out of Sunrise, Florida, made that interception and was run out of bounds inside the 4 at the 3. What a disastrous first half for
it's certainly hard to be positive, but we're going to try. And Ryan just misread the coverage that time and was going for his tight end like I suggested he did, but I didn't suggest that he wait for the linebacker to clear. And linebacker stepped right in front of him that time and took it almost, and Ryan made a very aggressive tackle out of bounds, but unfortunately they got the ball first and goal on a 3.
Donahue, who's gone all the way at quarterback, is under center, and he's going to give it to Kraft. And Kraft says, this is fun. This is like football in the backyard. And he takes it right into the end zone for another touchdown. He got hit by a couple of cats, but he said, you're not going to stop me, and they didn't. So he's into the end zone, and this is a 51-7 game at the 1:44 mark of the second period.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Matt Arshenkoff, Special Teams Coordinator and Defensive Backs Coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Okay, folks, we weren't here for the extra point, but I don't have a surprise for you. Shearer put it through the uprights. It's 52-7.
He's had lots of practice today.
He's had all kinds of practice. It's 52-7, St. Vincent over Thiel following the interception and then quickly the touchdown by Kraft as we have 1:44 before halftime. And Elliott, for the umpteenth time, is out here to kick off. And it's going to be quite the situation at halftime, Dawn, going into that locker room. Grant Seister with the ball at the 16, 20, 25, 30, and fights hard up to the 33-yard line. So Thiel with the ball, 1st and 10, with 1:37 remaining until halftime. And quite frankly, it's the most one-sided route I think we have seen that I can remember
in a while
of a Thiel Tomcat football team, and not against one of the upper echelon teams in the conference, quite frankly. Speaking of other teams in the conference, at halftime, Westminster leads Carnegie Mellon 13-9. At halftime, Thomas More is beating W&J in the big one, 21-13. We'll get the other scores in a moment as Ryan Radke is in the gun on first down. Going to roll around, going to try to find a little room, rolls to the left and goes under two big tacklers for a sack back inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. 5 minutes left first quarter. Bethany and Case are scoreless, and Waynesburg, we don't know. Waynesburg and Grove City are playing, but the internet is not working, so we know not what's going on there. I'm going to guess Waynesburg is ahead of the hapless Wolverines. Here's the pass completion up to about the 36-yard line to Alex Horvatus. He makes a nice catch and gets a few yards back, and the clock runs to 54 seconds remaining, and there's a quick timeout for the
Bearcats,
St. Vincent Bearcats, so we'll take a time on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
All right, we're back with 54 seconds remaining until halftime. 3rd and 6 for Thiel. And here's the pass from Radke to his receiver, and that was a nice catch by Kevin Daly across the 40 to the 42, but he's going to be a yard shy of the first down, Don.
Tomcats are going to go for it with 48 seconds left, and that's a case where I don't think he knew where he was on the field, because if he had just ducked his head a little bit, he could have probably slid in and picked up that first down, and now it sets up a 4th and 1 instead.
Reminder at halftime, Matt Auschenkopf, the special teams coordinator and defensive backs coach, will be our guest. Very interesting conversation we had with Matt Auschenkopf, and you'll want to hear that here on 790.
Timeout, Tomcats.
Timeout, Thiel. We're going to keep it here. Now, Don, as Thiel gets ready to go into the locker room with 48.9 ticks remaining, you're down 52-7, and if you're Kurt Reiser, what do you say?
You say we're going to rely on Tomcat pride. We're going to go out there and we're going to play our positions. We're going to get better on every series, every play, every down, and we're going to whittle into this lead, and we're going to come back and try to make it an interesting game.
Now, do you be reserved, or do you do some yelling and screaming and maybe hit a locker or two?
No, first of all, I don't think that's Coach Reiser's style. Second of all, I don't think it's going to do any good. You know, there's a thing called the psychology of the result. When you're winning big, you go in and kick a locker and yell at people for being sloppy. When you're losing big, you go in and try to pump them up a little bit. And remember, you heard that here, psychology of the result.
Well, I kind of like that, and I tend to agree with everything you said.
Okay.
But I know a lot of coaches who maybe couldn't restrain themselves in these circumstances.
Yeah, I think the time for yelling when it was 28-0 in the first quarter. And I think right now, the kids are a little bit shell-shocked right now. And I think right now you just want to try to find some success, and that starts with getting this first down on 4th.
I think it's trying to salvage something from the ruins of a bad first half is kind of what we're looking at. Let's see if they can do it.
Well, we got a flag here. It's going to be false start against the Tomcats somehow.
We've had how many of those in this half?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you can have that when they had,
They walked up to the line of scrimmage. And,
yeah, apparently that's...
I don't understand. It's really, really hard to fathom what is happening.
Well, now we got to punt the ball.
Yeah, now instead of going for it on 4th and short, it's going to be 4th down and about 6, and they're going to kick the football away, and you almost would like to think that maybe St. Vincent would signal for a fair catch here, but I don't think so.
Well, they're certainly going to try to come after the kick, and I think they have intentions on trying to score before halftime.
All right, Lohman is deep, and he is going to signal for the fair catch. All right, back at the 32-yard line.
Now we got a flag down the field, and we'll see who's going to get the penalty this time. There's been enough to go around. Looks like maybe St. Vincent was doing something they shouldn't have.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on St. Vincent. Gee.
Abbott's not going to like that one if he's watching.
No, the Abbott will not like that a bit.
Costello might like it, but
yeah,
Abbott's not going to.
All right, let's
moves
see
it back
where they're
15 yards, though. It's going to take it back 15 yards from the 32, so that'll make this a little bit more problematic for St. Vincent. Of course, you've had a run of 86 yards and a run of 84 yards, so I guess 15-yard penalty is not a real challenge. They're still talking it over, trying to figure out the math. Fortunately, I'm not the one doing the counting, so we won't have to worry about that.
Looks like they're going to put the ball down in about the 30.
Well, looks like it's going to be about the 16.
They're going to go way back.
Yeah, it's 15 yards from 31, so it's going to take it to the 16.
They're changing the football down below. I was watching the official with the football, and instead the ball's inside the 20 at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, there we go. So it's 42 seconds to go. Here, we got to shut them down.
They're going to be in the gun.
Got to get some pressure. Got to play defense on secondary.
42 seconds left. Here is the give to Dorsett. Dorsett's outside and running loose across the 30 and out of bounds at about the 35 or 33-yard line. We'll see where they put it down. Maybe the 32.
Pretty much got the 15 yards back, and now they're set up with 35 seconds left to go. I don't think they're giving up here. I think this is part of their strategy, and I think you'll see them probably look for Mr. Black here coming down the middle of the field one of these times because that guy's a big target.
You really think they'll throw the ball here?
I think they're planning on trying.
What do you have to gain by throwing the ball here in a 52-7 game?
You get to be 59-7.
I guess you do. Well, let's see what he does. He's going to roll to the right, and he's going to throw the sidearm and find his receiver.
When they called timeout with 43 seconds left to go in the half, you knew their intention was to try to get the ball back and come down and get another score, even if it's just line up and try to kick a long field goal as time goes out. But so I don't look for them to take a knee here. They've got the pedal to the metal, and they're going to try. It's homecoming. They're trying to impress people, and we're helping them do that.
Dustin Lohman made the catch up at the 43-yard line where it's 1st and 10 with 29 seconds left. In the gun, his quarterback, and keeping that football is Donahue. Across the 50, there he goes again. 40, 35, and out of bounds. It's going to be rather chilling to see his rush total here in the first half.
Yeah, I think he's looking at a record. I don't think he'll get Danny Hess's record when we were down here that time when he ran for 400 and some yards, but I think he's on his way towards that. Another 22 yards in that pickup.
They're at the Thiel 35 with 20 seconds left to score here.
They're pretty much close enough. They could probably maybe one more play and then start taking some shots at the end zone.
Donahue has 3 wides on 1st and 10 at the Thiel 35, and he's back. He gets late pressure. He's going to roll to the right, throwing the run, and it's incomplete, intended for Kraft, who was down on his back at about the 30-yard line, and the pass is incomplete.
He's a lot like a lot of quarterbacks you see at Division III. He doesn't throw the ball on the run very well. He's got to set his feet, and that time Riley Shane got some pressure on him, forced him out of the pocket, and when he has to throw the ball while he's running it, it tends to come up a little short, just like it does for a lot of kids at this level.
All right, so St. Vincent with 14.5 seconds remaining.
Donovan has 270 yards rushing.
270 rushing yards. That's an amazing total. Probably a school record for the first half.
That's a career for some people.
Yeah, it sure is. Straight back. Here's the pass. He's got his receiver, and that's Black, who steps out of bounds at the Thiel 19-yard line.
You know, you're talking about why St. Vincent's doing this, and it's not to run up the score. I really don't think so. I think this is an opportunity to run their 2-minute offense, and they probably don't get a lot of chances to do that, and they're really doing a very nice job of setting things up. Now, with 8 seconds left to go, we need to see if the Tomcats can dial up something there. Your Grove City's leading Waynesburg 17-14.
Boy, Waynesburg having a little bit of a down year here with a minute remaining until halftime. Here is quarterback Donahue rolling and throwing, and he has his receiver inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line or the 6-yard line, and we have 3.5 seconds left. He can still score, folks.
Well, they're going to try the field goal here.
They're going to try the field goal. Okay.
I think that was the plan all along. I think they wanted to run their 2-minute offense, see if they can do it. And,
if they were doing this at the end of the game, then
it'd be a different story. But it's not. They're still, because the Tomcats can come back and score 45, right?
You said that.
I always say that.
I know you do.
You know what? This is D3 football. This isn't, Penn State Pitt.
Stephen Shear will try a 25-yard field goal, and he made it. So we have mercilessly come to the end of the first 2 periods, and it's been 2 periods to forget if you're a Thiel fan at halftime. Yes, you're hearing it right. It's St. Vincent 55, Thiel 7. We'll be back with our halftime show after this 2-minute break on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Welcome back to Chuck Noll Stadium on the campus of St. Vincent College. It is homecoming here for St. Vincent, and unfortunately for the Tomcats, they're playing right into that as we are at halftime, and the Tomcats are on the short end of a 55-7 score. We'll be back to do some interviews and some stats and everything else, but right now we're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eccles TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to ecclesappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
You are listening to News Talk 790 WPIC, Sharon Hermitage, a Cumulus station sponsored by the Ridgewood at Shenango Valley, a premier senior living residence.
I'm Matt Arshenkoff, special teams coordinator and defensive backs coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back at St. Vincent College here at halftime of the Thiel St. Vincent College football game, and we're pleased to have one of the new coaches with the Tomcats as our halftime guest, the defensive backfield coach and special teams coordinator, Matt Arshenkoff. Matt, welcome to the broadcast. You've been in Greenville now for a few months working under Kurt Reiser, and give our fans back in Tomcat land a little bit of background on where you went to high school, what about your college career, and about your coaching career to date.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. First of all, the last few months, in Greenville have been great. It's a great community, and I'm really excited about what we're building here at Thiel. I played high school football in Michigan. I'm originally from Akron, Ohio, but moved around a little bit. Played in Michigan at a school about 30 miles north of Detroit, and then went on to the University of Akron where, I had a short career in 01. Got out of football. One of those things where I was, I was tired of playing, had lost a little bit of love for the game, so I decided to walk away, be a normal college student. I can honestly say that if I hadn't have done that, I don't know if I'd be coaching right now, because it was the fact that I had walked away and how much I missed the game that drove me to get back into it. So I was able to get into high school coaching over in the Akron area for a year, and then fell into a graduate assistantship job at the University of Akron, and did that for 4 seasons under 3 different head coaches. And then after the 2012 season, went to a school in Chicago Worked there for 2 years, coached there, did the D-line and special teams. And when I heard about the opening, here in Greenville, my brother-in-law had coached soccer here. Andy Hogarth had coached soccer here. He had told me about, what a great place it was, and I saw that there was an opening. So I jumped at the opportunity of coming back to an area that, Western PA, Northeast Ohio, which is home to me. Took that opportunity, and it was a great decision, and I'm glad I did it.
Well, that's great to hear, Matt. And let's go back now to your days at Akron. Even though you only played for one part of 1 year, that's Division I college football and the MAC conference, which is underrated by some people. But, hey, we know there are a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL who played in that conference, and some great wide receivers and guys at other positions. And it's very good football at that level, isn't it?
Sure. It was an opportunity to, as a walk-on, just to play. Again, it was one of those things where you get there, it is big-time football, and you're like, whoa, hey, this isn't like high school football anymore. This is a job, a full-time job. So, again, the career was short, but, my 4 years of coaching there really helped me to prepare, for my career that has brought me here to Thiel College. A lot of good players in the MAC, a lot of underrated football that's played, a lot of great teams. And I was able to work under a lot of good coaches that taught me, both the fundamentals of defense and special teams. I worked for some big-time coaches while I was there at Akron.
Give us a few names.
Well, Chuck Amato was the defensive coordinator when I was there my last year. He was the head coach at NC State. Obviously, the head coach, Terry Bowden, he was there, worked with his brother Jeff, who was the OC at Florida State. J.D. Brookhart was the one that got me in. He was the offensive coordinator at Pitt, under Walt Harris, and I got to work with Coach Harris for a year. And then I got to work with Coach Shane Montgomery, who was the head coach at Miami of Ohio, who's now the OC at Youngstown State. So I've been very fortunate enough to see what a program at that level looks like, and I try to bring as much of that as possible into what I'm doing on an everyday basis. It doesn't matter that Division I, II, and III. That to me doesn't matter. I approach every week, every day that I come to work, I approach it like I'm at the highest level, because that's what the fellow coaches deserve, and that's what the players deserve.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about some of your charges here at Thiel College. You're in charge of the defensive backfield. You have some players who have played a lot of football there for Thiel in past years. And by my count, this year, Matt, you've been rotating maybe 8-9 different players into at least starting roles or roles off the bench. And some changes, I know, are being tweaked each and every week in the D backfield. How do you think the process is going? Are you pleased with the combinations you have?
Well, you bring up a good point. It's exactly that. It's a process. Having been a D-line coach and a linebacker coach, this is my first year, doing the secondary, and I appreciate Coach Reiser and Coach Herrick giving me the opportunity to spread my wings and do that. We have a lot of talent in the secondary. We're young. We have a junior, Chris Jones, who's played, and he's been pretty steady. And other than that, we've had sophomores across the board. Mm-hmm. We had an injury, early in camp with Trevor Martin, who's coming back. He was out there last week. He played tough. He's going to play. He's playing this week. He's playing hard. But other than that, we have a lot of young guys. A lot of young guys that didn't play last year. So it is a process. Every day, we're not just scheming up opponents. We got to go back and work on the fundamentals and make sure that they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do with their eyes, the back pedal, getting their brakes right. And we're going to keep with the rotation. We're not down on anybody. We just want to see, what we have as far as these young guys and who's going to give us the best opportunity to win. And no one ever goes to the doghouse. If you go 100% and you pay attention to meetings, you're not going to be in the doghouse. We're going to have to see what we got. And that's where we're at right now in the process.
Matt Arshenkoff, would you say that Chris Jones is the leader of your secondary?
I would say he definitely is the vocal leader and on the field. He's taken on a much more of a leadership role this past year. Again, I wasn't here last year, so I didn't see what kind of role he was in, but I know I spoke with him many times. We've had a couple sit-down talks, man to man about what I expect, as far as his leadership. And he's done nothing but, meet the expectations, and he's exceeded them. He's always early to every meeting. If the guys aren't having a great practice, he'll stop it and say, hey, guys, we got to get together. We got to do this. He's a vocal leader, and he's also, watch me on the field kind of leader. So I've been very pleased with what he's doing. And the young guys have stepped up as well. It's not just Chris, Trevor, Martin, Joe Sarator. Those guys have also taken on a leadership role, and that we're everybody's on board trying to get the young guys, ready to play as soon as possible.
Well, that's one part of your job. Another big part of your job, special teams. And a lot of people don't know too much about what goes into special teams. So I'm going to pick your brain a little bit, Matt Arshenkoff, on special teams when we return. This is Hugh Ringer with Thiel's new defensive backfield and special teams coordinator, Matt Arshenkoff, on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckley'sappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncysmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back with Thiel Tomcat assistant football coach in his first year, Matt Arshenkoff. Matt, let's turn our attention to special teams. And, I love to watch special teams coach their craft. And I'm going to ask you, is this a fair description of a special teams coach? High energy, bordering on wild man mentality. And do you fit that mold?
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. And I do fit the mold, I would say. I've been in the box, been up in the box the first few games, and I'm actually going to be on the sidelines for the next couple games just to get some issues worked out with the special teams. And to be honest, that hits the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. In game, the game plan has been put to rest. It's about high energy, keeping the kids focused and getting them ready to go out there and have a collision, because that's what it is. On kickoff, it's 11 guys running down the field. It's a collision. On punt, you got to sit in there and protect. You got guys running at the shield. You got to step up and block. That's a collision. Kickoff return, punt return, those are just attitude plays. And I do split the special teams responsibility with Coach Satterfield. He takes care of the punt return and the kickoff return. He's done a heck of a job this year. So this is the first time that I've actually had to split responsibilities, where I do kickoff and punt, and he handles punt return and kickoff return. We've worked great together. It's been a great team effort. It's helped me grow in the process of stepping back and letting another coach, have some responsibility. So it's been a great process that the two of us working together.
Now, is it a fair assessment, Matt, that the young men you're looking for on special teams are want-to kind of kids? May not be the best athletes on the team, but guys that have that hunger, that fearless attitude to go down under a kickoff, sacrifice their body perhaps if they have to.
That's exactly right. Again, this isn't like high school. We're not just going to pick young kids and put them out there for our special teams. We got to have guys that we trust. And like you said, attitude guys. If that means we got to play a senior or a junior who's a starter on offense and defense, that's who we're going to use. And they'll get their rest at other times during the game, but we can't just put out 11 bodies just because we're supposed to play young guys on special teams. It's 1/3 of the game. If we can't get it done in the special teams phase, we're not going to be able to win a ton of games. So we play the best guys that we have, and those are attitude guys that are fearless. And we've made some changes in the past few weeks, so putting more of our older guys on there that we can trust. And we're going to clean up some of the issues that we have as far as growing pains.
Now, you just mentioned something I was going to ask you about, so I'm going to ask it now. We hear coaches say special teams are 1/3 of our preparation. Is that the way it's treated here at Thiel? In other words, equally with the offense and the defense?
Yeah, it is. It's a big part of it. We meet as a staff every Monday for an hour to go over the game plan. And then that follows up with another hour meeting where we cover all 4 of the phases with the players. We watch film, scouting reports. The difference in the college level is that, you have a coach who's coaching a position like myself who coaches, the special teams, whereas somebody in the NFL, that's all they do. That's their full-time job is they focus on special teams. So, yeah, I'm the special teams coordinator, but I can honestly say I've never, I don't kick a football. I wasn't a kicker. So, working with the kickers, the long snappers, that's more of a specialty craft where you got to, I got to study that on my own and then present that to the players. And the assistant coaches on the staff do a heck of a job, too, as a unit. As a coaching staff, all of us work on the special teams. It's not just me and Coach Satterfield. It's every coach. It's Coach Herrickle, the defensive coordinator. He's out there coaching special teams like he's in charge of it. Because that's the approach you got to have when it comes to special teams at the collegiate level is you've got to attack it all hands on deck.
Now, in a 2-hour practice, and most of our listeners, I'm sure, have never been to a football practice, or at least a full practice. In a 2-hour practice, how much time in that practice is allocated to special teams work specifically?
We'll do, the way our practice is set up, we'll do 2 8-minute periods. Okay, so we'll have, a typical Tuesday practice. We'll have 8 minutes of punt, and then we'll come back, do some team stuff, maybe do a couple other individual drills, and we'll have another 8 minutes of kickoff. And then at the end, we'll do 5 minutes of extra point field goal. Now, we also have a warm-up about 5 minutes before practice starts where the long snappers are getting their snaps in, kickers are getting their kicks in. So you're looking at about 18 minutes of it is of the specialty phase. And again, it's not 18 minutes out of 2.5 hours doesn't seem like a lot, but that's one of those things where I'm out there doing defensive drills, the punters know that, hey, they got to be getting their work in. Or if it's the kickoff guy, if he's not a position guy, he's got to be working on the sidelines and getting his kickoff right. That 18 minutes is where we pull the other guys, the offensive guys, the defensive guys together, and that's where we start to work together, getting things done as far as a practice setup.
Now, Matt Arshenkoff, you did not have the advantage coming here to Thiel of having a veteran punter and a veteran kicker. You had to find 2 new kickers, and you've changed things up a little bit. You've got, at least for a kicker, you got a couple of people competing. How is that going?
It's going good. It is what it is. You're right. We've had we're young across the board, offense, defense, and special teams, and that's no different with not only the punter, the kicker, the holder, the long snapper. Everybody's young. So we took as much time pre-camp, trying to figure out, get guys in the right place. We used all of camp to come out with what we thought, we had. And you don't know exactly what you have until you turn the lights on and play games. And we've had to make adjustments. And that's what we, as coaches, get paid to do. We can't just sit back and say, well, we got to do it this way because that's the way I know how to do it. No, you got to change things up, whether it be personnel or schemes. If the kids if they're struggling to understand it, or if they can't physically do it, our job as coaches is to make adjustments. And that's one of the things we've done is we've looked at some different guys that are position guys that might be able to help us punt or kick off or kick field goals, and we're gonna roll with it.
Well, Matt Arshenkoff, I have really appreciated the opportunity to talk to you today, and you may not know this, but a lot of serious football fans I know, when you ask who's their favorite coach, they'll name a special teams coordinator. I have a good friend who loved Bobby April. You probably know who Bobby April is. John Fox, who head coach in the NFL, used to coach with the Steelers. And now that you tell me you fit the mold, when I have a chance, Matt, I'm going to be watching you on the sidelines just to see how much of a wild man you are, especially if your guys make big plays. Matt, great opportunity to talk to you. Welcome to Thiel. Hope you stick around for a good while, because I can tell you love the game of football, and I'm sure you're doing a great job for Coach Kirk Reiser.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And if you see anything during the game on the sidelines, hey, don't hesitate to let me know.
Thanks a lot. Matt Arshenkoff, the defensive backfield and special teams coordinator for the Thiel Tomcats. The second half kickoff will start shortly. Stay tuned here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvica, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
We are back at Chuck Noll Stadium on the campus of St. Vincent College, where halftime is just about wrapping up. St. Vincent leads Thiel 55-7, but don't go far, folks, because the Tomcat comeback is going to begin here in the second half. Looking at some of the statistics, we don't want to look at any of the statistics. 37 plays for St. Vincent College, 537 yards of total offense. For the Tomcats, 36 plays, 130 yards. And Tyler Donahue's having a career day today. 11 carries for 282 yards rushing, 270 yards net, because we did sack him a couple of times. Donahue's 8 for 14 for 165, so you're looking at about 435 yards of total offense. So 435 out of 537 is from one guy. So I think maybe we ought to adjust a few and maybe see if we can shut him down in the second half. Ryan Radke had 8 carries for a net of 22. Nick Black had 6 carries for a net of 17. Kevin Daly, 4 carries for a net of 12. Ryan is 8 of 18 for 79 yards and 1 interception. Horvitis leads the Tomcats with 3 catches for 31 yards, and the rest of it is not pleasant.
Okay, Don, thanks very much. Both teams have returned to the gridiron. The Tomcats just finished their loosening up out by the end zone to our left, and we'll be ready to go very shortly. Let's look at some out-of-town NCAA Division I football scores. We've been keeping you up on the D3 scores from our conference. In the end of 3 periods now, 15th-ranked Oklahoma leading the 23rd-ranked West Virginia Mountaineers 34-24 in Oklahoma. In the fourth quarter, TCU is poleaxing Texas by a score of 47-0. TCU number 4 nationally. In the fourth period, Michigan shutting out Maryland 21-0. In the fourth period, Michigan State by 3 over Purdue. The second-ranked Michigan State Spartans are only up 24-21. Iowa, fourth period late, leading Wisconsin, number 19, 10-6. That's a surprise. Those are the out-of-town scores, the only games that have started. A lot of biggies in Division I college football coming up later this afternoon and into this evening. Well, let's see what the second half holds. For Thiel, you'd have to think the second half would be better than the first. If it isn't, we are really going to have quite a situation on our hands. But Thiel is going to kick off here, and Cody Dinger has the ball teed up at the 35 and kicks a low bouncing kick down the middle that's going to be picked up by the second man to touch it, and he's at the 25-30, breaks tackles. Thiel again, bad tackling across the 35 up to the 37-yard line, and the returner there who was breaking the tackles for St. Vincent was Dwayne Brown.
And the Tomcat who brought him down was Zach Horner, a freshman cornerback from Yatesboro, PA.
All right. First time we've called his name all year.
I think you may be hearing a lot of that this afternoon.
Well, we may see some new young'uns out here in the third quarter. It looks like Thiel's coming out with its regular defense. The front line looks to be intact. And as far as St. Vincent is concerned, is our quarterback Donahue.
New.
They got a new quarterback. They have Devontae Kraft still in at tailback, and he's going to lose yardage on the first play back to about the 31-yard line, and that looked like a Thiel secondary man. That Trevor Martin from Meadville, who came up and threw him for about a 4-yard loss? It's going to be second down and 14. So is Shemensky in the quarterback position now?
Number 5, yeah.
Number 5, all right. Shemensky gets the second half. I can't believe he's going to statistically equal Tyler Donahue.
The other guy's probably tired.
Well, or else playing wide receiver. He could play almost anywhere. Here's Shemensky dropping straight back. Look who he's throwing to. Ryan Crawford. Open. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. It gets no better, folks. Wide open. He could have packed a lunch and had a dessert at the 20-yard line before the Cats would have caught him, and he just took that ball to the house. And how many yards was that, Don? That had
67.
To be 67 yards. And Shemensky, who can throw it, got it out to Ryan Crawford, a former Wilmington Greyhound, we might add. And so he thrilled some of the home folks maybe back into Wilmington with that catch and run. All right, in to try the extra point for the umpteenth time today is the kicker, Steve Scherer, and the kick is good, so we're going to take another break as the onslaught continues. It is St. Vincent 62, Thiel 7 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics: Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to Thiel.edu.
I'm RJ Molson, defensive line coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat Football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Well, it only took 52 seconds for St. Vincent to score again, and they score on the big run by Ryan Crawford, a pass, catch and run, 67 yards, and it's 62-7. And St. Vincent is going to kick off, and let's see, Sam Elliott is going to do the kicking off once again. And we have Proper and Seister deep, and Grant Seister takes it at the 10-yard line, 15-20, going to dance at the 30 and get across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. And a Tomcat is down and not getting up, and it looks like number 30, and that is Dalton Hewitt, who's seen a lot of time at linebacker today, one of the freshmen. So Dalton Hewitt is down, and we will take a 30-second break as they attend to Dalton here on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Dan Ross, running backs coach of the Tomcats. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
All right, they've taken the young linebacker off the field, and we'll see if we can get a report later. We have a new quarterback in the game for Thiel. A handoff goes to Kevin Daly, and Daly gets nice yardage around the right side across midfield and into St. Vincent territory down to about the Bearcat 45. Pat Schaefer, the senior from Truckee, California, is in at quarterback for the Thiel Tomcats, Don.
He is, and he's a senior. He's been around for a while. He knows the system pretty well. It was a good first play. Picked up about 15 yards.
All right. So it is 1st and 10 for Thiel at the 45 of St. Vincent. Ron Howard goes in motion to the right. Here is the pitch to Daly, and Daly finds yardage. Daly fighting his way across the 40 down to the 36. Kevin Daly looks like someone who wants to play some football in the second half.
And I think that's what we're looking at here, Hugh. We're looking at getting back to basics. Let's have some success. See Gary Heiner on the sideline stand there with his ankles all banged up. So I think we're going to see some other players. We want to just get back to what we do, see if we can have some success, get some drive going. Let's learn.
Okay, so Pat Schaefer at quarterback has a second down and a short 2 for Thiel at the 36-yard line of St. Vincent. Here is the give again to Daly, and Daly lowers the head a bit and fights near the first down, but he's not going to get it. He's about a half yard short of the first down, setting up third down and short. And might as well tell our listeners that we're looking down on the sidelines, and
got the three quarterbacks,
the three quarterbacks all standing together. Okay.
I think what you're probably going to see a little bit is a little bit of all three of them. See if they can get a little bit of playing time today, and not an indictment against Ryan. Ryan's done about all he can do today.
Well, it's been a team meltdown as far as today's performance. There's no doubt about that. Can't put it on any one person. Here is Schaefer handing off to Daly, and this time they are all over Daly on 3rd and a yard, and he loses, my goodness, he loses a good yard, setting up 4th and about 2. So the Cats know that that's not going to work, as they're undoubtedly going to go for it here on 4th and about 3 back at the 37-yard line.
We always say in short yardage and decisions that whoever gets their pads lowest is going to win, and that time St. Vincent's got their pads below the Tomcat offensive lineman, and there was no place for Kevin to run. Now it sets up 4th and about 2, and we'll see what the Tomcats can do.
Horveditz, Young, and Roland are your wide receivers. And in the gun is Pat Schaefer, the quarterback, starting the second half. The senior is back, and a flag flies. The play stops.
Looks like a false start on the Tomcats.
Well, that's about the 5th of those that we've had today.
Just a little bit out of sync right now today.
I'd say a whole lot out of sync.
Well,
you're being very, very kind.
You know what? I'll tell you what. This is a learning experience. The Tomcats are going to punt now. And we know it. We got a young team. We got to focus a little bit, and you're losing a little bit of focus when you're getting beat this badly, but you come back and you try to one-on-one, just beat the guy over you, and let's see what we do. And now the Tomcats are going to have to punt the ball away, which has been, quite frankly, an adventure for about the last 3 weeks.
And we saw a little bit of that beating your opponents in this series, but then penalties took care of it. Better kick by Squires this time, and he gets a good bounce, but it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, too good of a bounce that time.
Yeah, too good, but it's into the end zone for a touchback. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tomcats on the 20-yard line.
Now it's time to play for heart. Now you got to play for your teammates. You got to do your job. And what we had here, we've seen in the first half and in the first series of the second half is people, I think, trying to do too much, and they're overplaying, and that's why you're leaving people running free down the middle of the secondary. What you have to do is be disciplined, even though the score is 62-7 against you. Be disciplined, play your position, and become a better football player by the time the day's over.
You still have the basic Thiel defense out there. Shane, Ravita, Kuzik, and Stefan are up front. The linebackers are a little bit different due to injury. The ball's on the ground and recovered back at the 11-yard line by St. Vincent.
Yeah, I think the quarterback wasn't ready for the snap that time, and he came back and right off his shoulder pad as he was looking to change the play a little bit. Fortunately, it looked like one of the I can't tell the numbers down there, and they got new kids in there, so one of the running backs fell on the ball. I apologize, folks. These green numbers on black jerseys are not doing me any favors today.
All right. Well, we do know that the quarterback in the football game is Sheminsky, and Sheminsky's going to give it off, I believe, to Kraft, and Kraft is going to go nowhere. Doak Walker Jr. is there, joined by Riley Shane, and was Ravita the third person?
Yep. And that's what you did. You Riley Shane beat his guy, which tied him up, which allowed Doak Walker to slide into the hole from his linebacker position. No gain. Good football play. Let's see if we can string about 10 of these in a row, and then we'll have a momentum switch.
Doak Walker, Jake Elk, and Tanner Lucido are the three linebackers. And Lucido is getting the start today for Thiel. Here is the snap to Shemensky, and he's back, and he's throwing it down the middle, but way over the head of the intended receiver. And Trey Andrews had real good coverage there for the Thiel Tomcats, and he was step for step with Ariel Martinez.
Good job, Tomcat defense. Got off the field, got a third down. You got to help with the bad snap. A little high snap that time, threw off the pattern a little bit. Now they're going to have to punt the ball. The last time they punted it, they snapped it over the guy who's like 17 feet tall. So we'll see if they do that again today. But he's kicking out of his own end zone, and I think he's got his helmet up against the goalpost, the crossbar. He's
David
a big boy.
Pugh and Randy Groves are deep. We have not seen Pugh yet as they punt the ball out of the end zone. And, boy, look at that punt by the St. Vincent punter, McCracken.
That's a nice kick.
Then the fair catch is made there by Cody Dinger, who was the other man back at the 50-yard line.
Kick from the 10 goes to the 50. Even I know that's 40 yards on the punt.
Thiel will get the ball at midfield. Their second offensive series of the second half at the 9:21 mark.
Good series on defense that time. Tomcats come out with the ball. We got another new quarterback in there for the Tomcats. Like I said, they're going to rotate. We knew this was going to happen. This is Josh Dando, Newcastle Laurel, going out there and taking his first action as a Tomcat.
Here's a kid who had an injury who missed a whole year and has just recently gotten back into real playing shape. He's a big quarterback, about 6'4", and had a good career for the Laurel Spartans down in Lawrence County, and he runs the old Greenville pitch.
Well, it's a good thing because it went to a Greenville, ran third.
Nick Black.
The old Trojans, we call that 38, the play designed by Ed Snyder, run by every coach ever since, and Nick Black ran a lot of those while he was at Greenville, and that picked up 5 just like it did when I was running them back in the 70s.
All right, so that's a tidy little gain of 5 yards.
We'll take
Setting up a second down and 5.
Again, let's beat your guy across the middle. Let's play good fundamental football, and let's get better on every play that we take. Every snap that we get, each Tomcat should be better than he was in the previous one.
Josh Dando is 6'4", 190 pounds, a freshman in classification from Laurel High School. Here's the give to Black, and Nick is getting back to the original line of scrimmage, and absolutely no further because that big old Cody Henry, 365 pounds from Latrobe. How about that?
I wouldn't want to have to feed him.
No.
Nick Black didn't get much that time. There was a mesh problem between Danko and the running back, Nick Black, and just didn't quite get the mesh they would, and Nick had to wait a little bit for the ball, and by that time with this, in college football, even at D3, that hole is going to close very quickly. Sets up 3rd and 5 for the Tomcats, and let's see if Danko can get his first pass completion.
Horvitz, Howard, and Rowland to the right, and Thompson to the left. Here is Dando back, dancing. He's in trouble, and he's not a running quarterback. You can tell that, but he gets a little something back to the 47-yard line, but nonetheless the sack is recorded, and it's going to be 4th down and about 7.
And what he got in this series, though, is he got some snaps, he got a little bit in the action, got to see the ball a little bit. Ryan Reck, he's coaching him up on the sidelines, and you love to see that. Ryan's telling him what he should have done, what he could have done, what he may have done, and you got to love seeing that from the junior, showing that leadership even after a tough day.
Yeah, you like to see that. Good job by Ryan. Okay. Here is Squires punting from the 40-yard line. Gets a high kick that's going to be signaled for a fair catch.
Nice.
Takes a cat bounce inside the 10, going to roll out at the 5-yard line. So Dylan Squires' performance has been getting better as this game has worn on.
And again, what we had there is we had a good special teams performance. We didn't have any of those in the first half, so now we come back in the second half, get back to do it, block your guy in front of you, get the snap where it's supposed to be, kick the ball. Now St. Vincent's has to set up shop on their own 5-yard line. As we saw in the last series, they don't play well in the shadow of their end zone, so we got to play tough. Let's play your position, see if we can improve on that 3-and-out in the last series.
All right, the Tomcat defense comes out, and we still have Chris Jones at a corner along with Richard Proper. Trevor Martin from Meadville and Joe Sarator from South Park High School in Pittsburgh are your safeties. And the quarterback for St. Vincent is Evan Shemansky. and he's going to hand it on, and the Cats are all over him like a cheap suit, and they throw him inside the 5. They're going to give forward progress to the 4. And who led that charge?
And that one was led by Jake Elk that time coming up, and Doak Walker was right there to wrap it up, and Kusick was right there too. And I tell you what, Tomcats look good on that. Again, let's just play your position, beat the guy across me, and let's see if we can get a turnover down here.
All right, the defense obviously has responded a bit to the talking to
psychology of the result.
Psychology of the result that they got from the. And there's a handoff that looked like it was going to go someplace, but the whole close compliments of Mr. Doak Walker Jr.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
About the 9-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 6.
And I'll tell you what, Doak's playing a good second halfer because his defensive line in front of him is taking up place on the offensive line, so they can't get out and block Doak, so he's free to make the tackle.
I formation behind Shemensky in the backfield as he is under center. And he's going to give it straight ahead. Is that Kraft with the football?
No, I don't think he's in there.
He's not in there? Okay. It looks like 45 maybe carried that ball. Chris Holloman?
Yep.
He is a 180-pound sophomore from Middletown, Pennsylvania, but he didn't get the first down. He is stopped at the 13-yard line, so it's going to be 4th and 2. And they're going to have to punt the football away.
Second consecutive 3-and-out for the Tomcats, so there's a victory, and we'll just take it, and we'll just build on it for the rest of the afternoon, folks.
Looks like Cody Dinger is back at midfield to receive this punt. Cody Dinger is a nice young prospect who does some kicking and wide receiver. Special teams, Nick Black puts some pressure on. The kick is short. Dinger comes up, and like a good wideout would do, he makes the catch in St. Vincent territory at the 41-yard line.
Pat Schaefer coming back in at quarterback this time. Dando had his shot, and I think they'll rotate these guys the rest of the afternoon. But I'll tell you what I love seeing right out there is number 13, Ryan Radke, not putting his chin down on his chest, not looking at his shoes. He's out there coaching up his teammates, still motivating these guys, and that's what you want to see from your senior leadership, junior leadership.
All right, so Pat Schaefer will deploy an I formation behind him. Looks like Daly is back in the game at the tail. Zinsmeister, the blocker, and Kevin gets the ball, tries to go around the end, and he lost the football. They knocked it out, and it is recovered by St. Vincent at the 47-yard line. Wow.
That's a young person's mistake. The hole wasn't there, and he was trying to make something happen, and that's usually when bad things happen. It's not high school anymore. You got to get... When the play's not there, you get down and you come back and play another day. And now he put his team, that good field position they've been fighting for since the touchdown in the beginning of the half, just went away. And now they put a little bit of pressure on his defense. But they'll coach him up over there. They'll they'll work on the drills, and we'll see a lot better performance next week.
All right, let's see who is in there now. Shemensky is the quarterback, and it's Holloman as the sidecar with 4 wides. And here is the give to Holloman. And he is at the 50 and is down to about the Thiel 48-yard line. And again, Doak Walker, who is playing with a leg injury here, and you can tell he's not nearly 100%, but he told his coaches, I heard him tell Mike Donato, I feel pretty good down there, Coach, and I think I can go. He's one tough kid, outstanding young man, going to be a very good football player out of that football factory known as Canton McKinley in Ohio.
If he ever grows into those thighs, he's going to be a defensive end.
Yeah, I think he will. All right, Shemensky is going to give it off to Holloman again, and he's going to cut it outside and get close to the first down at about the 43.5, and if that spot is correct, they're going to move the chains, and they are.
Another nice tackle by Tanner Lucido that time, who's quietly, in the view of a 62-7 deficit, is playing himself a very nice football game.
Yeah, he's playing as if he would like to be very much in the rotation. The 5'10", 190-pounder who played for Sam Mowry at Grove City High School.
There you go.
All right, Shemensky in the gun. Going to hand it off. Holloman, he gets away from Shane, and Kozik and others kind of follow up. Jeremy Stefine was in around the football, too.
Jake Elk on the bottom of that pile.
Jake Elk, and it's a gain of a couple down to the 42-yard line of Thiel, setting up second down and about 8. Chris Holloman, still your tailback. Shemensky, the quarterback, looking over to the sideline for some direction.
Got some new people in for St. Vincent, and they're just trying to get things organized a little bit. They don't seem to be in any rush, leading up 62-7. Why would you be, I guess?
Shemensky, play fake, going to roll to the left, going to throw against the body if he has to, and he's not going to. He's going to dance out of bounds at about the 41. He gets maybe nothing on the play. We're going to call it 3rd and 8.
Good job by the secondary at that time, especially over there. Martin and all those guys stayed on the coverage. They didn't bite on the fake, and they've been running the ball a lot, so you tendencies to maybe take a peek, but they kept their coverage, kept backpedaling, kept the guy in front of him. He had nobody to throw to. Riley Shane ran him out of bounds.
All right. Martinez is going to go into the slot to the right on 3rd down and 8 as the quarterback, Evan Shemensky, who started last week, came off the bench this week here in the second half, is in the gun and straight back. Not much of a rush. Going to roll to the left. Buy time. Stop. Look. He's going to come back this way. He's doing a Bubby Brister, and he's going to throw it out of bounds.
Looks like a Garo Yepremian.
A Garo Yepremian would be more apt, yes. All right. Pass is to nobody, and it's going to be 4th down and punt formation for the St. Vincent Bearcats.
Good job by the Tomcat defense again. Gave up 1 first down, but came back, buckled down, got him out on 3 and out. Now they're going to punt the ball back to the offense.
Mark McCracken will kick the football from about his own 45, and Cody Dinger is back at his 10. The kick is away, and it's end over end, going to come down at the 12. Fair catch for Mr. Dinger at that point, and the Cats on their own 12 or 13-yard line will get the football.
And you see what happened with the fumble. It changed the field position. St. Vincent have been playing the last 3 series is inside their own 15. Now by getting it out with the fumble out by midfield, now they're able to punt and put the Tomcats inside their own 15. It's really a chess game when it comes to field position. Now with being in a little bit of a bind, you're going to see Pat Schaefer come back in and see if that senior leadership can maybe dig him out of the hole.
And he will have Nick Black behind him. All right, Schaefer under center. And he's going to play fake. No, he gives
Black
it straight ahead to Black, and Black put the ball on the carpet. Let's see if he got it back.
Nope,
no, he did not. It was a clear fumble.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure what happened there because he sure didn't look like he was ready to take the ball. And looked like he was expecting not to get the ball. And so when the ball popped out that time, it was number 17, Armando Ruiz, who recovered it for St. Vincent. Now we're going to get the test and see our heart and resolve right here as St. Vincent sets up shop on the Tomcat 12. Yep. Let's see, we played a pretty good third quarter defensively. Let's see if we can keep them out of the end zone.
All right, the Cats come out on defense. It's going to be 1st and goal at the Thiel 12 following the missed exchange between Pat Schaefer and Nick Black. At the 12, 1st and 10, Shemensky is under center. Holloman is in the eye, and Holloman gets the ball, and he's spun around. Riley Shane has him, and pushing him back for dear life there is another one of his mates, and that was the Thiel College linebacker, and that was Tanner Lucido again.
Yep. Anthony Napolitano was in at quarterback, number 18. It's hard to see the numbers.
Napolitano, so we're down to our 3rd quarterback.
Yeah, he looks like your classic big drop-back quarterback.
What's his, number 18.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tell you where he's from, and I know how to pronounce that name.
Oh, good, because I don't.
It's kind of like Kishikokillis in Pennsylvania. Here's the give straight ahead to Holloman, and he's down to the 10, where the Cats rough him up a little bit there, and a nice job over there by the Cat defensive lineman, Steve Kuzik.
So where is he from?
Well, Anthony Napolitano is from Massapequa, New York.
Huh.
Now, I'm not sure where that is.
But, anywhere near Passamaquoddy?
It might be.
Dragon?
It might be. It might be up near Amherst. I don't know. Massapequa.
If it's in New York, the taxes are high.
Probably. Sounds like it might be Indian territory. I don't know. All right, here is Napolitano back. Napolitano steps up and throws. The pass is deflected and almost deflected back to the 9-yard line out of the end zone to a lineman from St. Vincent, but he couldn't get his mitts on it. So that was a wild play. It's 3rd down and 8.
4th and 8 now.
Or 4th and 8, as they didn't change the sticks.
Nice job by Trevor Martin, and also Doak Walker way back in coverage. The young linebacker dropped all the way back in the end zone and made double coverage and knocked that ball away.
So Steven Shearer will try another field goal here from the 16 to 17 at 27. 27-yard attempt. The ball's down. The line drive kick is through the uprights, and there's a timeout on the field with 59 seconds remaining, 3rd period. It's now St. Vincent 65, Thiel 7 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Hugh Ringer and Don Aukenbaugh back at Chuck Knoll Field in Latrobe. 27-yard field goal by Scherer widens the St. Vincent lead to 65-7.
Hugh, make a comment here. Number 30, Dalton Hewitt, seems to be roaming around the sidelines looking like he's going to go back in the game, so that's good news.
That's good news indeed. Here comes the kick to Grant Seister at the 20. Head of steam, 30, 35, 40, and up to the 42. He's not a breakaway guy, but at 195 pounds, he's the biggest back the Cats have.
Yeah.
And this is the kid who gained 2,500 yards last year at Purchase Line High School out east and scored 32 touchdowns, Grant Seister. And when he gets a chance, I think he's going to be a real good one.
That's about what we need to get back in the game.
Yes, it is. All right, who is in? Josh Dando is now the quarterback again for Thiel, the 6'4" player from Laurel High School. It takes a 2-step drop and throws it out there to Horvitis at the 48, across the 50, and into St. Vincent territory to the 46-yard line.
This boy reads the play very well, gets the ball out on time. He got that as a perfect pass to Horvitis, who just as he was making the break, the ball was there. No way the defender could get in.
And I think this is a real bright spot of this Tomcat football team, these quarterbacks. You know, Dando is a freshman from Laurel. We got a chance to see a young quarterback a couple of weeks ago down in Kentucky, who has some real promise as well. And Jake Vormelker. And here is a sack coming up on Dando as he dropped back, and it was kind of a jailbreak, and down he goes in the arms of St. Vincent's defensive lineman Tyler DeGrande out of San Francisco, California.
He must have really wanted to come here.
I guess he did.
Must be that Steeler summer camp thing. He probably wanted to be here as part of that.
There is a timeout on the field taken by St. Vincent at the end of the quarter. And we have one more quarter to go. It's 65-7, St. Vincent over Thiel on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Kurt Reiser, head football coach. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Set to start the fourth quarter, Hugh Ringer, Don Aukenbaugh at Chuck Knoll Field at St. Vincent College. It is 65-7 in favor of St. Vincent over the Cats. The Cats were way down at halftime in this ball game. Came out and played a competitive third quarter, and The fourth quarter is about to start.
As far as I'm concerned, it's 7-0. That's what they scored in the second half because we're just trying to regroup, and now we got a couple new quarterbacks we're taking a look at, and we'll see what we can do here.
Josh Dando is in there now, and it's second down and about 15 for Josh. Back at his own 48. He takes the snap, and he throws an interception. Oh, boy. He threw that ball right into the arms of the defender, Armando Ruiz, a linebacker who catches it and runs for a couple more yards to the 48-yard line.
He was looking
St. Vincent takes it on its own 48.
He was looking for his tight end that time, and he just stared down his receiver, and that's a thing young quarterbacks do. You hear it about in the NFL games all the time. Stared down his receiver. He didn't look anywhere else. And Ruiz that time watched his eyes and just stepped right in front of the pass and picked it off.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for St. Vincent here. A reminder, the Thiel Tomcats celebrate homecoming next Saturday with a 3 o'clock game at home against the much, much improved Westminster Titans.
Oh, good.
What's so good?
Much improved.
Oh, okay. Here is the snap, and the quarterback is going to keep it, and that is our friend Mr. Ryan Crawford, who I think is 18. Oh, Napolitano. I'm
he's
sorry.
Still in there.
Napolitano is still in at quarterback.
From that funny town in New York.
Yeah. So, it's a gain of about 6, make it 2nd and 4 to the Thiel 45-yard line. Napolitano in the gun. Is going to give it straight ahead, and a new running back is in the ball game. Now, according to my roster, it's Malik Merritt, but he must have switched sides.
Well, that's probably not the guy then.
Well, it says 32 on my roster, Malik Merritt of DeWitt, New York. So, with no correction, Malik it is.
Well, whoever he was, he didn't get very far. It's third down. Nice job by Riley Shane and troops to keep playing hard and give the Tomcat D credit. They're playing hard, they're working hard, and they're trying to keep this thing. It's 3rd and 5 now, see if we can get them into a punting fortune.
Napolitano with Merritt beside him. Here's the snap, and he goes straight back, and he throws the out to nobody in particular.
He was
pretty good coverage there.
Yeah, he was throwing it out as wide receiver ran it in, so that's why the ball went where it shouldn't. So another good series by the Tomcat D forces another punt.
So it's 4th down and about 4, and back in to do the kicking is Mark McCracken. And deep is Cody Dinger back at the 10-yard line. It's been a cloudy day here, but, we haven't had any rain in Unity Township, which is a bit of a surprise. There's the kick, and it's a beautiful high spiraling punt. Dinger signals fair catch and lets it take a bounce, and it goes inside the 5, and I know they're not going to mark it there. They're going to bring it outside the 5 to about the 8-yard line, I would say, where it's going to be 1st and 10.
We found out who number 32 is. He's Garrett Whalen. So
Garrett Whalen. He must be an addition to the roster.
If by chance Garrett Whalen's parents are listening, we've now got the correct running back.
All right, we'll keep that little note right there. And
we will.
We don't know whether he's from Massapequa, New York, or Kishocoquillas, Pennsylvania.
I'm betting he's not.
He's in the lineup.
He's from Passamaquoddy.
Oh, okay. All right, we know that Nick Black is the Thiel tailback.
We know where he's from.
And we're not quite sure who the quarterback is yet.
Pat Schaefer.
Is it Pat Schaefer? Okay. He gives it off to Black, and Black has a hole. He's across the 15 and out to about the 19-yard line.
Nice job by Nick Black that time. Followed his blockers real well. That time he did get the ball the way he thought he was going to get it and punched the way out and picked up the 1st down, moved the chains, got the Tomcats out of a little bit of a jam, and now they can maybe open up their offense a little bit.
Nick Black does some things as a running back that shows he's been very well coached.
Well, he's a Greenville guy, so we know that Coach Herrick and those guys do a great job up there because they're always playoff potential, and he's no exception. He's very fundamentally sound and not a big kid, but give him a couple years in the weight room, and he could have some nice career for the Cats.
All right, under center, Schaefer, and he's going to pitch it to Black, and Black's going to find a hole and get some yardage and keep churning those legs, which you always like to see, across the 25. Well, I guess they're going to put him down on the 25, but, hey, he got 6 yards, Don, so you'll take that on first down any day.
And I think what you're seeing from Nick Black is you're seeing he holds the ball, he covers it up as he's in the traffic, so he's protecting the ball like we heard Coach Reiser say on the pregame show, keeps the legs churning, and as long as you keep the legs going, you don't know what's going to happen if you pop out the other side. And getting some valuable playing time, it'll come down to really help us out later down the year.
All right, Rob Thompson is in the game, wide to the right, and I think that's Cody Dinger out to the left. And Ryan Rowland, tight end, turned to wide out, is going to motion left to right and right. And here is the pass from Schaefer to Ryan Rowland, who makes the catch after trying to throw a block, and he's down at the 30-yard line. He was a busy guy on that play, Don, and he got a 5-yard gain and has a first down.
Great job by Nick Black that time, picking up the blitzing linebacker, came in, took him down right to the ground, made a nice block right around the thigh pads, had to go down to the ground, open up the passing lane for Pat Schaefer, found his tight end, got the first down.
All right, so the Cats are going to switch sides here and bring Dinger and Rowland down here to the right, and Thompson to the left. Rowland motions right to left as quarterback Pat Schaefer takes the snap, gives it to Nick Black, and Black has a hole, 45-yard line before he's down, and Nick Black has himself 14 yards on the play, and move those chains, Don.
Tell you what, you love to watch this kid run. He carry when he's in the middle of the line. He's got both hands over the ball. When he gets upside, he lifts his head up so he can see and looks to see where he can find some extra yardage. Doesn't try to do too much. Doesn't try to overstretch, and I think that's why you're seeing Mr. Black get the playing time.
All right, Horvitz is back into the game at a wide receiver left for Pat Schaefer. Pat Schaefer, a senior, but a much improved player, as there is a timeout called by the Thiel Tomcats at the 10:58 mark of the ball game at 65-7 in favor of St. Vincent, and we'll be back on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sin Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
This is John Herrickle, defensive coordinator. You're listening to the home of Thiel College Tomcat football. News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back at Chuck Knoll Field at St. Vincent College in Unity Township. 1st and 10 for the Thiel Tomcats on their own 44-yard line. Quarterback Pat Schaefer with an eye behind him in the backfield and 2 wides. He's going to play fake and go straight back. He's going to air it down the field. Horvitz is out there, but so is the defender, and it is a leaping interception by St. Vincent's Zach Altieri, a freshman out of nearby Jeanette High School, Terrell Pryor's alma mater.
Yeah, that time he was just playing center field, and Pat got the ball up in that jet stream. Unfortunately, he's throwing it into the wind and not with the wind, and the ball hung up a little bit on him, and kid had a nice play coming over from center field to pick the ball away. Horvitz had his guy beat, but they just got a little bit too much air under the ball.
You know, with the kid from Jeanette again, we've had a couple make plays. It's interesting, Ron Dulciato, the coach here at St. Vincent, was quoted as saying not long ago, I'm going to be living at Jeanette High School. Yeah. You're going to see a lot of me there. Smart move, Ron. I think I would, too.
He's going to have a lot of company.
I imagine he is, but he probably wants to put a fence around that school. There's a flag two flags out on the field, and I think this is going to be a penalty against St. Vincent.
Ball start day. Everybody moved but the center.
So they're going to move it back 5 and take it from the 22 back to the 17 and make it 1st and 15. Napolitano in the gun is going to give it off, and circling that end is Chris Holloman, and has some yardage out of bounds at about the 21-yard line over by the St. Vincent bench.
Trevor Martin on a stop for the Tomcats. Came from the safety position, read the play very well, just kept going, lateral movement side, good football position, moved his feet real well, got over in position, and kept him to about a 4-yard gain.
So at the 10:38 mark, it's going to be 2nd down and 11 for the Bearcats.
Got Chase Costanzo, a freshman quarterback from Richfield, Ohio. How does somebody from Ohio get to Steeler country?
I don't know, and especially where the Cavaliers used to play, right? Am I right?
I think that was Richland, wasn't it? Richfield.
I think
no, you're right. Richfield.
Yeah, I
Miracle
thought so.
Richfield, 75.
It's been too long, Don.
Yeah.
All right, here is the fake and the give straight ahead. And that looked like the aforementioned running back, Holloman, who took the handoff, gets a few yards, gets a couple yards up to about the 22-yard line, setting up 3rd and 10.
See if the Tomcats can get some rush this time, dial up something, and maybe get the ball back and see if we can get some points on the board before the game ends.
Chase Costanzo will be in the gun. Clock continues to run, which
thank goodness
is a good thing. That's mercy here. Costanzo has everybody positioned. Play clock down to 3. He better get this snap off, or he's going to lose 5. And
he did.
He has no awareness of that, I guess.
Well, I think St. Vincent had made some substitutions, and I think he was waiting for everybody to get into place before he did it. And he's a freshman.
Yeah.
So he's going to. This is why you give these guys playing time at this time. Why the Tomcats are doing the same thing on offense. They don't seem to be doing it on defense. But the way they rotated people through in the first half, there's really no reason to do that on defense. We have to get a defensive identity, and I think we're trying to establish that in the second half.
Costanzo will now have 3rd and 15 to try to negotiate here.
Timeout.
And now they're going to call a timeout before they get another penalty, and we'll take a 30-second time on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Ryan Matvica, wide receivers coach. You're listening to the home of Thiel Tomcat football, News Talk 790 WPIC.
We're back at Chuck Knoll Field with 9 minutes to go as the players come back out. Let's give you some final scores on the Division I college football scoreboard. Some big games. 4th-ranked TCU beat Texas 50-7. 22nd-ranked Michigan over Maryland, shutout 28-0. Michigan State holds on, the number 2 team in America, to beat the Purdue Boilermakers 24-21. 16th-ranked Northwestern gets a 27-0 win over Minnesota in the Big Ten, and Iowa has upset Wisconsin, number 19, 10-6. Here is the pass, incomplete, down the field, and that time Costanzo was trying to throw it to nobody except Martin of the Thiel Tomcats, the cornerback.
What he was trying to throw it to is, let me see if we can find out who that was for the Tomcats. Cody Wagner came in from the defensive end position, hit him right in the back just as he was letting go of the ball.
All right. McCracken is in to kick the football away from inside the 5. One other score of note, late fourth quarter, Oklahoma is pounding West Virginia 44-24. Here's the snap. The kick is away, and it's a spiraling kick that's going to come back here, and it's taken by one of the Cats, and being spun around at the 45-yard line was David Pugh, a freshman from Hollywood, Florida, and he goes down right there, so Thiel will have it 1st and 10. And next week I mentioned homecoming.
Yes, it is.
3 o'clock kickoff at Thiel with Westminster. And the Cats are going to be honoring the 2005 team, the 10th anniversary of Thiel's undefeated President's Athletic Conference championship football team. So And one of them, of course, is in the booth over here to my left, the quarterback, Darryl Satterfield. And
my second favorite Tomcat.
And it's going to be, and I know you're the favorite,
I'm
right?
my favorite Tomcat. I like myself very much.
Okay. All right, so that'll be an added treat next week to see the 2005 championship team. Here is the give to Seister. He's in the clear at the 30. He's running amok inside the 20 and knocked out of bounds on the far side. Now that was a play that's got to get Grant Seister excited. The young man came in with a cracked bone in his ankle to camp this summer and didn't get started until after the opening game of the season, and gradually he's been trying to work his way in. But this young man, I think, could be a special football player out of Purchase Line High School.
Tell you what, I like the Nick Black pounding. This guy come in for the change of pace.
Yep. Seister, a 6-foot, 195-pound tailback. Here's the give, and he's got a head of steam, and he's getting into the secondary across the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. So this little drive is quickly becoming the Grant Seister show.
And that's what we want to see here. We got the freshman quarterback in there. We got some senior guys. We got a new offensive line up front. Yeah, we're playing against St. Vincent's reserves, but again, we want to establish some positive things to take out of this, and that's 2 or 3 carries right there for Seister that are very positive. Nick Black in the last series, very positive. So let's take this home with us.
Howard right, Thompson right, Howard left. Under center is Pat Schaefer. And the pitch, that's actually Dando to Seister. Seister is down to the 10. Seister rolls to about the 6 or the 7-yard line. They're going to give him the 7-yard line, I believe. And that's a pretty good gain
nice
on
job.
First down, getting about 8.
8.5.
Yeah.
And nice job by the Tomcats downfield doing the blocking. He followed his blockers real well. It didn't look like there was much there, and all of a sudden scooted through the opening.
Well, like good-sized backs, it's smart to run these pitches and let them get a little bit of a head of steam. Then he becomes a quasi-runaway freight train. Eye behind the quarterback as Dando is under center. He's going to give it to Seister, and Seister's got his first college touchdown. Grant Seister out of Purchase Line High School banged a guy at the goal line and took it right in for a 6, or is it a 7?
7-yard touchdown.
7-yard touchdown. That's some good news, folks. Anything you can see that's a positive from freshmen is a good news thing in this kind of a football game.
Folks, we're very, very young. We're going to be good. Just hang with us.
All right, is this Cody who's trying the kick? Yep. Cody Dinger puts it through under Pat Schaefer's hold. Time out of the field. It's now St. Vincent 65, Thiel 14 on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
I'm Mike Donato, linebacker coach of the Tomcats. Follow the Thiel Tomcats right here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
A nice 40-yard drive by the Thiel offense, which really was the Grant Seister show, ending with Seister's 7-yard touchdown run right up the middle with 6:52 left, and the Cats get on the board again, and it's now 65-14. Here's the kick, and it's going to be taken at the 24, and with a head of steam and a flag flying across the 40-yard line is the return man, and I did not get that name, but it looked like it might have been...
I'll pick one. His parents are...
Malik Merritt.
We'll give it to him.
Okay.
Looks like they had holding on, so it's going to go back another 15 yards. So, again,
That's
remember what we said coming out of halftime, folks. We wanted the Tomcats to just play one play at a time and get better on every play. You saw Nick Black do that on his series, picked up 30, 35 yards in the series. Saw Grant Seister make his first collegiate touchdown, and hopefully for the Tomcats, that's the first of about 195. And I think you're seeing some things. Again, one play at a time. We're going to get better on every play. Hey, there's a number 87 in there. I always like that.
Number 87 is in for Thiel?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be Jacob Ehrig.
Playing defensive end.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 97. I'm sorry.
Oh, look at that hit.
My.
That young running back took the handoff, and was that 35?
47 was the hitter.
35, Andrew Geisler. I don't think so.
No, it's Shane Russell.
Is that still
47,
Shane?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's 97 in there. I was all excited there. Haven't seen
Who made the hit then?
Shane Russell made the hit.
Shane Russell made the hit. Okay.
Yeah, 47. Tomcats are playing well. It's about a 3-yard loss. Again, it's just one play at a time. Let's get better with every play.
Costanzo is still the quarterback, and he is going to look, and he's going to throw, and the receiver never turned around at the 40-yard line, so it's incomplete.
That wasn't a good one. That looked like more like a George Costanza throw than a Costanzo throw. And that time the ball was out of bounds, and not much of a connection there. Makes it 3rd and about 12. Tomcats still have most of their starters in there. Most of their starters in on defense. Again, this is something we just want to get better. We want to take some success. You don't want to leave with giving up 55 points in the first half.
Okay, now let's see. Is that Napolitano in there?
No, yeah, Napolitano's quarterback.
Napolitano at quarterback, and he's back, and he's under the heat, and down he goes.
Shane Russell.
Shane Russell again, who had a good series for Thiel.
Good job, Tomcats.
Makes that tackle back at about the 15-yard line to force another punt by St. Vincent. So
nice job defense again. We're just one play at a time. That way we pushed him back about 15, 20 yards. Good series, Tomcat D. Let's take something home on the bus with us. Let's see if we can get another touchdown. Either Black or Seister get in there, get some more running. And now let's get this thing, make it a little more reasonable.
McCracken has his heel up against the goal line as he tries to kick the ball away. Cody Dinger is one of the deep men back here for Thiel. It's going to come to Dinger at the 40, and he's going to try to run it. Runs into his own man, and doggone it, that's unfortunate because Pugh, I think, got in the way there.
Well, he was coming back to peel. One of the guys got through, and he was coming back to peel him off to see if Dick Corey could get a little bit of running room, and unfortunately he ran right into him. Here's some scores for you. Westminster wins.
All right, Westminster defeats Carnegie Mellon 26-16. So those transfers are playing well for Westminster. And Thomas More.
That's true.
Transfers galore. That's how they got where they are now. They're bringing in guys from Florida.
We got
38-20, Thomas More leading W&J with 1:36 left in the ball game. And here comes the Tomcat quarterback calling his own number, Jake Formelker. And he's across the 45 to the 47. Back to the scoreboard. Bethany and Case are tied at 42 with 10:27 left, third quarter. And Waynesburg leading Grove City by 3, 35 seconds left. Boy, Waynesburg struggling to beat Grove City. That's a surprise.
That's okay. We play them still.
We play both, so that's
guys.
okay.
We're tired.
I like that scenario.
We're tired of playing these up-and-coming programs. You'd like to see one is on a decline.
All right. Vormelker in the gun is back and going to roll right to buy time. He pumps. He throws. Thompson's out there, but he can't make the fair catch. It's 8 yards out of bounds, and it's incomplete.
Boy, that kid's got a gun, doesn't he? He looks like a quarterback, doesn't he?
Well, he looks like an athlete, and we knew he was an athlete. He's 6'1", 190. He's from Darrell Satterfield's alma mater, Grand Valley High School in Orwell, Ohio.
Go by it every day on my way to work.
And they think he's going to be a good one. They started him out at wide receiver, and after about a week, they said, this guy's not a wide receiver. He's going to have to be a quarterback.
So. He played linebacker.
Yeah. All right, let's see what Vormelker can do here on 3rd and 5 from his own 47-yard line. He's going to fake. He's going to call his own number, and he's going to fall forward to close to the 49, but he's going to be about 3 yards shy of first down yardage.
I'd go for it.
I think I would in this situation as we approach the 4-minute mark of a 65-14 game that was out of control in the first half.
First quarter.
28-0
at the end of the first quarter. I'll tell you, this kid is a punishing quarterback. He's looking. He's one that really just gets in the hole. He's a big boy, big kid, big thighs, big legs, and just pounds it in there. And that's what you want to see if you're going to have a running quarterback, because he's going to take some shots.
Vormelker in the gun with a sidecar, and he's going to roll left. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down, and shows a little bit of quicks there across the 50 to about the 46-yard line. So the Cats will keep the football and move the chains and have a first down.
What he did is he showed some things I like to see in a young player, especially a young freshman like that. He showed some decisiveness. You know, a lot of these guys get up there and they're not sure. That time he got to the edge. He saw that the 4 or 5 yards, he needed to get the first down. He didn't even think about it twice. He just tucked the ball up, got up, moved the chains, set the Cats up first down on about the 44-yard line. 46-yard line.
Thompson to the left and 3 wides to the right. Dinger and Pugh are the 2 wides, joined by Rowland. In the gun is Vormelker, and he's going to throw the flanker screen to Pugh. And Pugh is being spun around, and it's a good thing he held on to that football, but he got the ball, and he didn't see anything.
Well, I'll tell you what, I just don't like that play, not because Thiel called her, and they don't like that play no matter who calls it. Kid's like 110 pounds, and you're taking him back in with the big guys. He looked like the Packer, looked like one of the pinballs bouncing around in a pinball machine back in my day, and boy, you're lucky he just didn't cough up the ball, because they were throwing him around like a rag doll.
Well, Pugh's only 160.
Yeah, with his pads on.
Yeah. All right, it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Vormelker as we run down to the 2:20 mark. Vormelker, quarterback draw, spun around himself and grabbed by the shirt and pulled down unceremoniously by a big defensive lineman, and that looked like Marcus Johnson, a 250-pounder out of Pompano Beach, Florida.
Well, they got some people who like the snow, too, apparently. If I lived in Pompano Beach, Florida, I don't think I'd be coming to western Pennsylvania, but never know. They don't have a lot of D3 football down in Florida, I know that.
That's why a lot of D3 schools go down there and recruit.
Yeah. They have an incredible high school wrestling program in Florida and no college wrestling, so that's why the Thiel always gets a lot of Florida kids.
All right, 4 wides for Thiel on 3rd down and 11 for the Cats on their own 48-yard line. Jake Vormelker, the freshman, straight back, throws down the middle. He's got his tight end. Look at that, running free. That's Ryan Rowland out of Pickerington, Ohio.
Nice play.
Down to the 10-yard line of St. Vincent.
Hugh, that was just a very good football play. He took the ball, he surveyed the field, his tight end came open late, right down the seam, put the ball right where it had to be. What he did is he put the ball in a place where a tight end could keep running. A lot of times, tight ends are almost extended tackles in a lot of cases. So when you can get the ball out in front of him, it gives him a chance to run. He picked up another 15, 20 yards after he caught the ball.
Well, that was a nice play, no doubt about it, and Rowland has showed us some athleticism at 250 pounds. Here's Vormelker scrambling around, going to call his own number, and he's inside the 5 and dives to about the 4. I like this kid.
I'll tell you what, you're always using the Ben Roethlisberger and stuff. I think this kid looks like Tim Tebow with number 15. The way he runs the ball, he runs it with authority. Throws the ball better than Tebow, but he runs it with authority.
Well, he's looking pretty good. There's no doubt about it.
Tomcats took a timeout.
Yeah, the Tomcats take a timeout with 52 seconds remaining. We will remind our able engineer, Aaron Biro, who, again, has done a great job running the controls back on 2030 Pine Hollow Boulevard in Hermitage for us, that at the end of this game, which only has 52.7 ticks remaining, we'll take our final break and be back to do our wrap-up here from St. Vincent College. A reminder, next week, Thiel has homecoming against Westminster. They're arch rivals from down the road in New Wilmington.
I'll tell you what.
Kickoffs at 3 o'clock.
If I could, Hugh, any alums out there, get back for homecoming this year. They've done some incredible things on the campus. They got some really good programs showing up for homecoming. They've done a lot of work. The campus looks spectacular. Come back, support your alma mater. It'd be a real good year to come back.
Vormelker in the gun with Seister beside him. On 2nd and goal from the 4. He's straight back. He's getting pressure. Throws to Seister, who goes down to catch it, but he made the catch at the 8, and that was one where Grant should have just given it the fist punch because you don't want to touch that.
Well, I should have let it hit the ground. It would have stopped the clock, and they wouldn't have had to take a timeout.
Yeah, Thiel does take a time, and we'll take a 30-second time on 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncesmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu.
I'm Daryl Satterfield, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. You're listening to Thiel Tomcat football on News Talk 790 WPIC.
40 seconds remaining in this ball game. 65-14. St. Vincent over Thiel. Tomcats would love to dent the scoreboard one more time.
They punch this thing in. Tomcats win the second half 14-10, Hugh.
They have the ball, 3rd down and goal at the St. Vincent 8. Jake Vormelker in the gun is back. He has time, and he throws, and it's deflected. Deflected by a big guy who broke free from the blocker at the last moment. So it's 4th down and goal at the 8-yard line.
Again, this is one of those plays we always talk about when Ryan's in the game. You think you want to get him out on the edge a little bit where you have that pass-run option that you can maybe get them out there and make somebody have to commit and then maybe either toss the ball over their head for the touchdown or if they back up to cover the receivers, just tuck it up and go. And this kid's big enough that if he can get a head of steam going, he can probably push it through the 8 yards.
Well, here's the last chance for Vormelker here. 4th and goal at the 8 with 36 seconds left. He's back. He's under pressure. He's running around. He breaks free. He's looking for somebody to help, and he throws incomplete. Thompson got his hands on the ball at the goal line with 2 defenders around him and just couldn't squeeze in the football.
Did a nice job moving around in the pocket, trying to find something to happen. He had Zinmeister breaking loose in the corner of the end zone. Couldn't really get enough steam to get it there. Came back in for the other kid and had it in his hands. Just in a couple of nice plays, a lot of traffic in there, and just couldn't pull it down.
So with 27.6 ticks remaining, one would certainly think back at their own 8-yard line that St. Vincent would just come out here and say, come on, this game is in the deep fat fryer and has been for a long time. Let's just get out of here.
Take a knee and let's get the homecoming festivities going.
And I think Coach Dolciato must have been listening to the broadcast.
Waynesburg 31 or 35, Grove City 31 final.
34-31. Okay. Takes the knee, and this ball game is now in the books as the clock will inexorably run to its conclusion. So stay tuned. We will have the final stat wrap-up and get you ready for next week. The final score, St. Vincent 65, Thiel 14 on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Sionci's Motel, located at 399 Mercer Road. Log on to sioncesmotel.com or call 724-588-8550 for more information. Remember to ask for the Thiel discount. And UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more information about Thiel College, go to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Greenville Orthopedic Association and Doctors John Scullin and Stuart Anderson, specializing in the treatment of sports medicine, total joint surgery, and arthroscopic surgery. Call 800-245-8100 to make an appointment. And Greenville Moose Family Center, Lodge 276. Fun and fellowship for everyone. Log on to lodge276mooseunits.org. For more information, go to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. Vincent Coach and Travel, proud to be the transportation provider for the Thiel Tomcats. Call 1-800-345-3435 or log on to goanderson.com. SCP Group, offering a wide selection of services including graphic design, offset and digital printing, wide format printing, mailing services, trade show materials, and digital marketing. Log on to scpgroup.net. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. TDA, Then Design Architecture, proud to provide architectural and design services for Thiel College. Log on to thendesign.com. Eckley's TV and Appliance Center, located at 672 Mercer Road in Greenville. Call 724-588-7690 or log on to eckleysappliance.com. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College would like to thank the following businesses for being generous supporters of Tomcat football and Thiel College athletics. McElhaney Brothers, Inc., general contractors, providing premier residential and commercial remodeling in Grove City, Hermitage, and Greenville. Call 724-638-7056 to discuss custom renovations. The Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel College athletic programs since 1990. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more detail about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu.
Thiel College Tomcat football has been brought to you by...
Okay, Hugh Ringer, Don Aukenbaugh back at Chuck Noll Field on the campus of St. Vincent College, where the Tomcats had a very ineffective first half. It became a blowout early. Actually, first quarter, the game was over for all intents and purposes as the Cats fall 65-14 with a workmanlike showing from a lot of young men here in the second half. And it just, you got to keep working and hope that good things are going to happen, and we'll get ready for homecoming with Westminster at home next week. But, Don, take a look at the stat sheet, and we'll wrap this up.
Well, the big stat we have is that total offense, St. Vincent ran 63 plays for a whopping 609 yards of total offense, including 377 yards rushing. Tomcats, conversely, had 68 plays, but only 298 yards rushing. Tyler Donahue was the story in the first half, 270 yards rushing, 165 yards passing. I mean, he really was the one that put the Tomcats in the hole to begin with. The halftime score was 55-7. But let's take a look at the Tomcats. You had some freshmen. Nick Black ended up with 56 yards rushing. Freshman Grant Seister, 53 yards rushing. Ryan Radke ended up 8 for 18 with 79 yards passing. And we had two freshmen score touchdowns. We had Richard Proper, a 90-yard kickoff return in the second quarter, and we had Grant Seister, a 7-yard run, and he capped a 4-play, 53-yard run or drive, and he had all 53 yards in the series. So not a bad way for the second half to go for the Tomcats. And what we talked about all through the broadcast was, one play at a time. Can we get better? And I think in the second half, the Tomcats got a little better. Their defense stood up a little bit, a lot of 3-and-outs. I know that St. Vincent had some reserves in there, but you take the positives, and you had some freshmen make plays. You had some freshmen do some good things, score some touchdowns, and sets us up for homecoming. And, homecoming is always a wonderful time. And it's a great time for the alums to come back and see things. I know all football players who are alums come back and they watch their position, so everybody steps up a little bit. We saw a little bit of that down here today. St. Vincent came out in their black jerseys for homecoming, black for homecoming. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but then I'm not a 19-year-old kid, so I don't understand it. But homecoming is special. The Tomcats will step up. The coaches will work hard. The kids will work hard. We'll suit up at 3 o'clock at Alumni Stadium, and I have a very good feeling that we'll give Westminster all they want. We'll come home with a homecoming victory next week.
Well, that would certainly be delightful. So we look forward to seeing you again next week. Again, on the out-of-town scoreboard, if you're just joining us, Westminster won today over CMU 26-16. Thomas More, I'm sure, has beaten W&J.
Yep, they did.
38-20 was the last score we had. Bethany and Case battling it out late third, tied at 42. And Waynesburg defeated Grove City in a tough game, 34-31. Well, we want to thank a few people, Don. Thanks to you for your analysis today. Thanks to Ed Topoleski, who was just standing here with us, the outstanding sports information director, assisted by Cyril Parham, who's probably back working his tail off at Thiel today. Thanks to the Thiel coaching staff, Kurt Reiser, head coach, Matt Arshenkoff for joining us at halftime. And we certainly thank our WPIC staff, including our studio producer, Aaron Biro. Aaron, good to have you back with us today. Thanks to sales manager and sports director Bob Greenberg for all he does. And that's going to wrap it up on a gray, cloudy day here at St. Vincent College. Again, the final score, the Bearcats of St. Vincent 65 and the Thiel Tomcats 14. As the Bearcats go to 3-2, the Tomcats drop to 1-4 and get ready to host Westminster on homecoming. So until next week, when we join you for the Countdown to Kickoff show at 2:30 in the afternoon from Alumni Stadium, this is Hugh Ringer saying goodbye. On behalf of Don Achenbaugh, this has been another sports presentation of the Cumulus Sports Network here on News Talk 790 WPIC.
Thiel College Tomcat Football has been brought to you by
1, 2, 3, 3.
Ciance's Motel, Restaurant, and Lounge. UPMC Horizon, life-changing medicine. Log on to upmc.com. Greenville Orthopedic Association. Greenville Moose Family Center, number 276. SCP Group, located in Sharon. Online at scpgroup.net for more information. Anderson Coach and Travel. Visit them online at goanderson.com. Thiel College Blue Gold Club, proudly supporting Thiel athletic programs since 1990. First National Bank, the home for all your financial solutions. St. Paul's, a continuing care community, providing a caring tradition since 1867. Visit St. Paul's online at lifeatstpauls.org. The Gallery Grill and the Greens of Greenville. Visit them online at greensofgreenville.com. ABI Fresh, proud food service provider for Thiel College. Partners ComDoc and the DocuCenter at Thiel College. Biddle & Company. Visit Biddle & Company online at biddle-co.com. And Ilsco Extrusions Incorporated. Ilsco has operated one of the industry's most efficient aluminum extrusion mills for more than 60 years. Thiel College is proud to include these fine local businesses among its list of partners. For more details about Thiel College, log on to thiel.edu. Today's game has been produced by Aaron Biro and Dave Winters. Today's executive producer is Bob Greenberg. Our game announcers were Hugh Ringer and Don Achenbaugh. Thanks for listening to Thiel Tomcat Football. WPIC will now return to our regularly scheduled program.